Just finalizing things if anybody's popped straight in. All is looking decent. Testing audio as well. The last thing I need to do. Looks like my microphone's moving, so we should be all right. We're connected. We're all good. Pete, how's it going there, Pete, mate? Hopefully you can hear me. I'll just can switch this scene now, I think. Hey, yeah, hopefully you can hear me, Pete, and hello, Richard, Jaden as well. How's it going? Sounds all good. Oh, thank you, mate. That's absolutely awesome. Stan, good to see you. Mike as well. Mike with a mic check. I'm glad to hear it's working properly. Andy, crikey, nice to see you all, guys. Yeah, it has been a while indeed. You're not kidding. I've been just doing other family stuff that's been stacking up. Really, we had a little like a 4 or 5 day, really 4 day mini holiday to Centre Parks here in the United Kingdom in Sherwood Forest, as it happens. So that took up most of last week, but it was really good. It was a nice time. Probably show you some images of that if you guys are interested. But tonight we are indeed imaging. I am going to be jumping onto the Discord, so we'll check out what you guys have been actually shooting as well shortly. If you've got yourselves any new gear, I would love to see it. We'll take a look on there as well, just in the Astro Gear segment. But yeah, I'll jump in and I'll take you through exactly what I'm getting up to right now. So yeah, let's have a good catch up, chaps. If you're down for it. I realise it's a bit of an odd time to go live. Sunday night, 11:45, at least here for me in the UK. But it is what it is. It's clear tonight, so let's do it. Been in and out for a bit with the pups. No worries, Mike. What dogs have you got, Mike? If you don't mind me asking, mate, I'd like to know more. I'm very much a dog lover. Sound is good. Thank you, Pete, and hello there, Derry, as well. By the way, awesome. Thanks so much for joining, guys. I'll just try to make my scene work properly for you now. So that's always the first part of the setup. Tonight, what I'm shooting, by the way, for those who are interested in seeing, you can see I've got M27, the dumbbell nebula, on my Celestron Edge HD 11 right here. This is the main target for the night. If you want, this is with the 585 and the 0.7 times reducer, 60-second exposures. Just going to take a few before it gets too low in the night sky. I'd love to actually, have an image of this under my belt before it goes away for the season. Other than that, I do have on my ASI Air rig, I will probably just try my best to show you this on my phone screen. It's going to have to be my phone screen, unfortunately, but you can probably make it out, you know what I mean? The come on, focus, you bugger. There you go. Heart and Soul, 5-minute subs, 2600 Air, SQA 55, and that's running currently on the AM3N. Still testing that thing out while I've got it here. Let me just sort this back around for you. And then on this rig, which is triggering another autofocus, this is the SQA 106 rig, paired up tonight. I changed things around. I had previously been using the 585 mono on this from QHY, the Minicam 8. Well, I've decided I'm going to utilize a bit more of this scope's massive image circle tonight, and I'm having a go, basically, with the 6200, the Player One Zeus, full frame, one-shot color camera. So that's what we're going for, really, if Chrome Remote Desktop would stay connected. Anyway, that's that's part of it. But yeah, that's what we're on with. So aside from that, we're looking through stuff, like I say, seeing what you guys have been up to. That's a big thing. Mark of many talents, evening to you too, sir. Good to see you. I will pop over onto the Discord. I think we can kick things off on there, and it at least gives me the chance to set up my screen as well. I think it's I don't know why I don't just save this as like a known scene or something. It'd save me some messing about each time. But there you have it. Anyway, let's pull this chat panel in so it's on screen and get it about the right size. Come on, you bugger. 8.5 being awkward, you know. That'll do. Looks good to me. Hopefully you guys can see everything on the screen. Where did we last get to on this? I remember I was shooting some planetary nebulae with my Edge HD11 setup. And we were working through some of those. So I can see some hearts on these here. Here we are. Quick result. Crikey, 21 days ago our last live. I didn't realize it's been that long. But yeah, that's why I was shooting, if it would load, last time out. NGC 6894, and that was the result from that live stream. And honestly, really quite an interesting looking target, I think. I realised now I'd overcooked it. Oh man. Casey, thank you so much for that, mate. You are such a star. I truly appreciate your support, Casey. I hope that you know that, mate. Yeah, I really, really do. Still sleepy. Hope the trip was good. It was good, mate. Yeah, it was good. I'll definitely show you guys some images if you would like to see those images, that is. So we'll start a poll. We'll ask you, do you if my keyboard would work, want to see some of the holiday snaps? Yes, no. Boom. And then I'm not forcing them upon you if there's just like 2 people who want to see. But yeah, let's just see what's crack-a-lacking. Jose, how's it going, Jose? Someone said it was cloudy over there, clear here in Dewsbury. Fair enough, mate. Yeah, it was looking really bad, to be honest, tonight. After it'd been promising to be clear all day long, I thought, all right, nice. Gonna finally get an imaging session done, but yeah, it did clear up, luckily, and you know, here we are, making the most of it. Anytime's great to get this great. Yeah, agreed, Mike. Agreed, mate. Yeah. Nice framing, thank you. That's hopefully going to turn out all right, I would say. Matt Draxler, been a while since I've seen you, mate. Good evening to you too. Hope you and the family are well. We are indeed, mate. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Alum Gear, play on Zeus. That's my dream. It's an awesome camera, mate. Certainly, really, really is. Thank you again, Casey. By the way, mate, that's really very kind of you. Willie, Astrophotography lost a great contributor. Better than Arabachi. Oh, mate, really? I saw the post. Poor bugger. Honestly, I feel terrible for him and his family. I really, really do. What an horrible loss that is. Yeah, just huge condolences to him and his family. Can't imagine it. The worst thing is, I mean, well, it's not the worst thing, but the most confusing thing to me, at least, was in his recent videos and such. I really felt like he was looking like better, but I guess that just goes to show you the strength of the man. Do you know what I mean? That he could be just digging in like that while undoubtedly probably feeling terrible, poor chap. Yeah, massive respect to him, I tell you that much. Mark of many talents. I have my Edge HD11 with a Hyperstar out tonight. I'd admit more data to the Veil mosaic. That's very nice, Mark. Julian, how is everyone doing? I'm doing very well, Julian. How are you? And By the way, welcome aboard again, Derry. I always appreciate your support, Derry. I do hope things are going well for you right now, mate. Getting some nice data. Sun was okay this morning, but seeing was bad. I think the seeing's a bit iffy here tonight, to be honest with you, Les. It's not looking great. Evening to you too, Julian. Nice of you to come join us. Martin Villamea asks, have you ever done Astro with an old manual lens? I haven't, mate, to be honest with you, no. I have a manual 200mm f2.8 prime, and I might even give it a shot. Stop it down to f4, it gets much sharper too. Nice. Yeah, there's no reason it can't work. I mean, you're kind of using a telescope, aren't you, realistically? But yeah, there are some great old lenses out there. Some of the, like, trying to think now, radioactive glass in them, basically, and they like go brown over the years. But some of those are really good optics, apparently. Not that I'd want to have one in my house, but yeah. Casey, I spoke with him at Neef. We were both sick at the same time, hoping he would make it. Such a nice guy. I can miss talking to him. He really was a nice guy, wasn't he, Casey, mate? I'm really, really genuinely sorry to hear that. Great loss, nice guy. He was, yeah. He was. You could see how much he loved what he did, you know what I mean? The effort he put into his videos to share what he enjoyed doing with all of us. I mean, cracky, like I say, I've just got nothing but respect for him, though, I'll tell you that much. I'm not trying to make out like Astro YouTube is some crazy hard job or something, but it is taxing, at least mentally, I think, and goodness gracious, you know, all the other stuff he must have been juggling at the time, and he still found the energy to make the videos that he did, as good as they were. It's just inspiring in its own way, to be honest with you. Fist bumped Ben when I saw him at Neef. Yeah, man. Things going good, heading in the right direction, Luke. Good stuff, Derry. Genuinely pleased to hear that, mate. We could do some good news. Hope it improves. Very turbulent. Hope for more days. Nice couple of problems. I think I saw someone in the Discord posting that solar activity had been quite high. Oh, Matt. Coming in hot with the $25. You absolute legend, mate. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Matt. I can't thank you enough, mate. Speaking of Neef, let's start fun to get Luke there. Yeah, I mean, one day it's definitely going to happen, mate. Of course it is. The largest portion of, you know, the people who watch my channel are from the States, so I think it'd be cool to come meet you guys. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's on the cards. Still having connection issues with this thing. Come now, let's get you connected up. Don't know why it's playing up tonight. Really quite odd. As long as it's chugging away imaging, I'm not too fussed. It would have been nice to keep an eye on it, you know what I mean? Because it's just fun, but yeah, it's been a bit of a funny one. Good evening to you too, Milkman. Always a pleasure, mate. I do hope that you're doing well. Great to hang out with you again. Likewise. Yeah, absolutely, likewise. Mikhail Bazan. I have a Meade 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrain microfocuser and an f6.3 corrector reducer. In what order should the elements be installed? OTA, focuser, reducer, camera. All right, okay, I'm with you now. So, because you've got the microfocuser, I'm going to say two things here. The f6.3 reducers are quite tolerant on backspacing, so they don't need to be exactly 55mm. So, you could technically... Oh, crikey. Richard as well. With the 28. Supporting the fund. Thanks for all the recent guidance. You're more than welcome, Richard. You're all more than welcome. You're so kind. You really, really are. I can't thank you all enough. Now, truly, I do hope that you know I mean that when I say that to you. Yeah. Just thank you. Truly. Really, really means a lot to me. I was just... Oh, that's where I was just answering. I'll just try to finish where I was saying to Mikhail. So you're quite tolerant if you can fit in within your backspacing requirements that micro focus, because your actual focus movement isn't going to be much that's required to get you in focus. So there's a SCT focus operation that works that way, called the Moonlight CHL, I think, or something like that, and that operates by spacing the reducer away from the camera. It's very odd, but because it's such a small movement, it works. So that's the good news, Mikhail. You can't really get it wrong. As long as you're in focus and it's looking all right, you're going to be okay. But realistically, probably you want to get your focuser ahead of the, closer to the OTA than the reducer, if you can fit it in there somehow. But if not, don't worry about it. I hope that's what you were kind of asking. I'm there every year. Would love to meet you and buy you a drink. That's very kind, Matt. Yeah, mate. I genuinely hope we get to say hello one day. That'd be really cool. Andrew is asking what you're imaging tonight. Well, I'm imaging M31 on my SQA 106 rig with the full frame one-shot color camera. I'm imaging M27 on my Edge HD11 with the 585 one-shot color. Once again, cooled on this thing with the 0.7 reducer. So that's roughly what we're looking at there. Nice planetary nebula to go after in broadband. And then on my third rig, it's the SQA 55 2600 Air dual narrowband filter, and I'm going after the heart and soul nebulas. Basically, that's the plan, buddy. Thought the 6.3 reduced for 8-inch. You're right, it is, Les. I've definitely misspoke. I just said 55mm, didn't I? Yes, it is longer than that. Thank you for the clarification there, dude. I will catch up. I don't want to miss anybody's messages, of course. Andy, getting back to pass would be a good start. It would. Andy, yeah. I had to miss pass, obviously, this year. Don't want to go without my my son, and my son was too young to make the journey. So, but now we're taking him on like an hour car ride or so, getting to Sherwood Forest, and that was all right. So I think we'll build him up and get up to like the 3-hour car ride or so that it is to get to pass for us. But yeah, I've missed it, mate. It's nice being able to go and spend time with all the like-minded folk there. You know what I mean? If you went, I hope you had a good time. Derry says, must get back out imaging. Just need to check the mount. It's in working order at the moment. Building the Lego Focus-Eye Great Wave. 1810p. Great Wave. Is that the famous image? Let me just find it, mate. I'm sure I've got a 3D printed version of it. You've got me wondering. Don't know where he's. I can't find it right now. Is it that the famous Japanese like mural? I'm imagining. I've definitely got a version of it in here somewhere. Nope. Damn it. It's somewhere, but not where I can find it. Julian, got my observatory open tonight. Nice one, dude. In Derbyshire, getting some of the elephant's trunk. Nice choice, Julian. Yeah, that's one of those things I'd like to hit, but yeah, I might just. I don't know. I'm going to focus on these for now, and then we'll see what the night offers, eh? Thank you again, by the way, Matt, Casey, and Richard. And Quantum as well. Thank you, mate. But Appreciate that. Just got back from a star party. That's awesome, Brody. Where did you go, mate? If you don't mind me asking. And did you take some pictures you can share with us all on the Discord? I'd love to see them. So I can live vicariously through you. Casey. New equipment. Good sir. A new Edge HD 8. Congratulations, mate. That's really awesome. A new scope. I cannot help myself. You don't have to help yourself. You're among like-minded people here, Casey. We get it. Congratulations. Yeah, I liked my Edge HD 8. I don't know if you just saw the last video I posted where I was talking through my old rigs. I brought up that Edge HD 8 and said basically that I wish at the time I'd have had the money to keep that thing because I liked it. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Oh, Quantum added to the knee fund. Oh, you're awesome, dude. Thank you so much. That's dead kind of you. Really, really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Crikey, what a crazy outpouring of support. What's going on? Casey with 20 memberships as well. I was just saying as well, what a crazy outpouring of support we've seen. We've only been live like 15 minutes or something. Jesus. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Kanagawa. That's it. Yes. Only started this in the Lego art collection. Getting the Milky Way one next. Nice. That's really cool. OTS Cymax evening, by the way. Old Geezer gazing. Greetings from Rwanda. Awesome. Do you live out there, mate? Or are you on like some Astro retreat or something? I'm just guessing at this point, but yeah. Crikey, thank you all again so much, guys. The support's been mad tonight. Do you have a super wide field rig like a Rokinon? I used to have one, buddy. Yes, I did. I'm just trying to think now what happened with that. Chloe started off astrophotography with a Rokinon 135 rig, basically. We enjoyed that for a good while, but then she wanted to get herself a William Optics Red Cat. And so she sold the Rokinon 135, and then we got the Red Cat to replace it, so she could image at a bit of a longer focal length, and that's the story behind that one. But the widest field rig that I have right now is 264mm. That's in action, the SQA 55. Photon Voyager, good evening, Luke. Good evening, mate. Nice to see you. Just in time with the stream. Absolutely. I'm out imaging M312 and trying to fall asleep in the car. Okay, mate. I'll try to be quiet. No, in all seriousness, no, I hope you get some kip, so it's not too knackering when it comes to time to pack up. Andro says 3 rigs on the go. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you, mate. Also getting data on M31 with my ASCAR 80 PHQ and the 2600 MC Pro. Man, I'm kind of torn. I don't know what to do with. I've got the ZWO FF80 still here. It's been on loan for a long time from 365 Astronomy. We're probably getting on towards time where I should be really returning it back to them. But I don't know if I want to keep it or not. I just don't know. We're back online with the other rig, so hopefully we'll have some images to show you from that one too, the SK106. Speaking of SK106, anyway, that's the counter argument to keeping that FF80 for me, because the two of them are quite similar in focal length, and I really broke the bank with the SK106, so I should probably just behave. I'll tell you this, just recently, I've kicked the piggy bank down the stairs, and I purchased the AM5N from ZWO rather than sending it back, and the 2600 Air as well. And the camera angle adjuster as well. Purchased that. So yeah, I've spent some money just recently. I'm feeling pretty pretty stuffed at this moment in time. But yeah, this is the problem I have. I've got they call it GAS, don't they? Gear acquisition syndrome, where you just end up consume all the gear, and yeah, it's not the greatest problem to have. Shooting M31, says Casey. Nice. Seda Gamma Cygni and playing with galaxies tonight. Oh, mate, you're going to be playing with galaxies for some time with that C8. Yeah, the Edge HD8 rather. Did you end up, have you gone with the Edge HD8 as is, or did you buy the reducer, or have you got thoughts about it? Either way. Just wondering, basically, Casey. Pedro, good evening. Good evening, Pedro. Nice to come and spend some time with us, mate. Went to Great Lakes to Stargaze in Michigan. Ooh, this year they decided to host in a different location in a Portal 2. Captured M31 while I was there. Nice. What a choice, mate, to be honest. Yeah, if you're in Portal 2 skies, one of the main jewels in the night sky, innit? M31. Thank you again, by the way, chaps. Blimey. And thank you again, Casey. Coming in hot with the 20 memberships. Jeez, welcome aboard. All the new members. Hey, yo. That's Casey, man. Heading to bed. Got therapy in the morning. We'll watch the catch up. Night. Awesome. Yeah. And Lego helps with my anxiety. That's really good to hear, Derry. Yeah, you're doing something, if you'll excuse the pun, when you do watch this back, doing something constructive. Yeah, can't knock you for that at all, buddy. You enjoy it. There's many people out there who do enjoy it. Cleared it for me, so the Carbon Star 200 will be cranking away with Target Scheduler. Oh, yes, Mike. Very nice. Hopefully I have the rotation right this time. Fair, mate, yeah. So sad to hear the news about Ben. Absolutely, Nathan, yeah. We were just talking about that. It's really horrible news. Really, really horrible news. I feel for him. And for his family, obviously. Old geezer gazing. Nightmare. Though my latitude is 1 degree for the South Pole alignment. Wow. That's wild. You must have a completely clear horizon, surely, to be able to even properly polar align at that. Interesting. Astronomy. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you. Richard Allardyce. Super happy with the Redcat 51 whiffed and 2600 MC Pro. I'll bet you are, mate. It's a right combo. Congratulations on that one. M31 was the first light for the rig and super thrilled with the output. That's what it's all about, mate. Yep, that's what it's all about. You definitely won't hear me arguing against a high quality refractor and a colour camera. Crikey, it's Astro heaven for me. Having to use the S50 in Alt As mode. Got ya. Yeah, that makes sense. Brody says, having some trouble blending my 30-second core data with my 2-minute data using GIMP. What camera did you use, Brody, for your 2-minute data? I'm just wondering whether you could kind of get away without the 30-second core data. Oh, thank you, Nathan. Ball and Sky is coming soon. Hopefully, mate. Can you imagine? How's it going, dude? Nice to see you. Deep Space Astro, by the way. Check out my mate there. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel. Growing really quickly as well. It's awesome to see that, mate. Chuffed for you. Did you drop kick the piggy bank? I actually did, yeah. Shattered it into 1,000 pieces, dude. But it is what it is. Basically, it just ZWO sent the email. It's time to send the equipment back or buy it, basically. So I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? And just went for it. Asked Chloe if she was okay with the idea of it all, and just bought it. I just didn't want to send it back. Do you know what I mean? I liked the gear that much. I thought to myself, you know, I'm going to miss this if I send it back. So the choice was basically made for me at that point. I see that some people are encouraging you to go to Neve. Would love to see you there in person. I'd love to see you too, buddy. Yeah. Like I say, it's definitely something, and I mean it, you know, it's definitely something on the cards that I want to do. It's I'd love to visit, well, a lot of America, to be honest with you, but the Northeast Astro Forum would be a fantastic start. There's no two ways about it. Pisani's Workshop, love your channel. Thank you, buddy. That's kind of neat to say. Casey says, give the 80 back. No need for it since you have the 120 and the 106. Well, I don't have the 120 anymore. When I got the 106 to offset some of that cost, I actually sold that the ASCAR 120. But I do see what you're saying, Casey, and my heart basically says about the same thing, really. I feel like the 80 and the 106 are so close in focal length that, yeah, you know, when am I realistically going to go for the 80 over the 106? It's not going to be often, is it? So, yeah. And I have just bet the ever-living shit out of my bank account buying that other stuff, so. I have the reducer. No need for hyperstar since I have the raster. Oh, you do, don't you? You rascal. You're really set up, aren't you, Casey, to be honest with that lot, mate? That's awesome. Good on you. I really miss my raster 8, you know. That was very, very good scope. Use my D5300. Oh, okay. Nikon D5300. That's got quite a, well, depending on ISO used, that's got quite a deep dynamic range as far as I remember, don't it? What's good, Astro Chat? All is good, to be honest, mate. At the minute, we're just chilling, aren't we? I realise this is probably not that interesting for you guys to watch, so if you want, let me just alter the size of this window a bit, if I can. Make it so you can see what I'm getting up to. If we start a live stack on this, I'll bet we could see roughly where M27 is currently up to, if you're interested in that. I just fired up Sharp Cap. I'm sure we get an indication anyway, won't we? You know what I mean? Have you ever heard of or imaged the Valentine Rose Nebula? SH2174. It's up in Cepheus, pretty close to Polaris. 17 hours in over the last 2 nights. I haven't, mate. I'm gonna have to look that up. SH2174. Let me just crack open a browser window one moment, mate. SH2174. I have seen this. Yeah, I have seen it. Don't think I've imaged it though, unless I'm misremembering. I may have had a go at it. Now I'm saying that, I may have tried this with my Raster 11. Good question. You've stumped me. I can't decide whether I have or haven't, but I've certainly seen it. It's a very interesting looking nebula, especially with that distribution of the gases within it right there. It's it just looks so irregular. Do you know what I mean? With it all being kind of stacked off to one side. Really, really cool looking target, mate. Good choice. We are nerds. This is interesting. That's good, mate. That's good. Okay, we want to see some of the holiday snaps as well. The 83% of you said yes, so that's on the agenda. We'll absolutely do that. Did you know the beta release of Nina as a live stack plugin? Works really well. I did not know that, mate. Thank you. I'll have to check that out, dude. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't had the PCs on basically since the last live stream, which apparently was 21 days ago. So, yeah, stuff ain't updated. I just turned it all on, made sure things were roughly connected, and then went live tonight. That's been the plan. I can finally show you, by the way, the SQA 106 with the full frame camera. That's what this is looking like. Unfortunately, we have the beginnings of a dust bunny just right at the very top of the frame there, don't we? Let's zoom in a bit. So this mini PC, while contending with these massive full frame files, is struggling just a bit. So let's just, I'm sure, yeah, that's a dust bunny for sure, ain't it? All right, so you can see 5-minute subs on M31 Andromeda. That SQA 106 performance, just damn, you know what I mean? Star's looking that good of a full frame. Incredible stuff. And the illuminations there as well, you know what I mean? Regardless of how it looks based on the screen stretch, it is that true, as they offered it 90% illuminated at the corners, a full frame. Really can't knock that thing. Let me just catch up a little bit. You could do TPPA for most places. Yeah, to help old geezer gazing get polar aligned. I have the original AM5, says Nathan. Is it worth selling it for the AM5N, or should I upgrade to the Warp? What's the Warp? Is that one of the Warp Astron WD mounts? Is that right? Because I've no experience with them. I couldn't say whether it'd be an upgrade or side grade or downgrade or otherwise. Do you know what I mean? I will say this. I really rate the AM5. I definitely do. The AM5 original and the AM5N. I haven't got anything negative to say about them, to be honest with you, mate. Great mounts. Well, price. They're bloody expensive, but yeah, they're very good. Pop that out of the way anyway for us. We were going to take a look at this. What's his name? I've just seen that. Les. Good night, all. Good night, Les. It's been good to spend some time with you, buddy. Hope you have a good sleep. So we want the folder monitor camera. Here we are. Let's fire this thing up. I don't know why it decides to connect to the mount and the focuser while doing a folder monitor. It just seems a bit counterproductive. That's the wrong direction, Lukey boy. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, last folder. The 30th. Jeez. It's been that long. Right. Select these files and kick off a live stackaroni. Think this should be just about ready to go. And what do we have? Don't need no flat reduction. Let's just hit refresh on this. All right. Let's see what we've got, if we can stack a few of these up. Color balance. We'll zoom in on the histogram a little bit. So for those of you who are just wondering what I'm doing, I'm running a quick live stack using the files that's already been created from tonight's imaging session on M27. So I'm not interrupting the imaging session or anything like that. It's still running in the background. I'm just taking a look roughly at what the data looks like. And so far, I have to say it looks quite promising. It's only stacked 6 frames though, so we must have had a bump in full width half max for some reason. So I'll get those settings to be a bit more tolerant and see what happens to the stack. It's likely it's just an error, and it's probably not ended up that far defocused. At least I wouldn't expect so. I will catch up properly on chat in just a moment, by the way. I'm just seeing if I can see anything happening to this. Seems to be stacking without much issue now. But yeah, overall, pretty darn pleased with that. I'll tell you that much. M27. That's gonna look. It's gonna look really good. Nice. Yeah, I think we can stay on this for a little while. It's on its way down, of course. Now is M27, but that's all I wanted to do. Really, just check on things, see how it was looking. Get ourselves back on Nina and see what's going on. It's triggering an autofocus basically. So yeah, it looks like the HFRs did creep up. Look at that. Interesting. Maybe SharpCap wasn't in error when it was reporting those defocusing the frames. Oh well. Let's open up the Discord anyway. We can start with some of this stuff in just a moment. I'll have a look at Astro Gear if anybody's posted anything new, and we'll get caught up. I see I've seen that from Kieran. So no, Nathan, I don't believe I finished answering your question. I'm pretty sure I just trailed off and started talking about something else, but I don't think it is worth selling the original AM5 or the AM5N. It's an upgrade. Don't get me wrong, mate, but it's not a massive one. It's just, you know, if you were buying one brand new, you'd be absolutely looking for the new model rather than old stock, as you would expect. Martin, evening Luke, evening Martin. How is everyone's night going? Mine is going all right, buddy, to be honest. It's nice to be doing a little bit of Astro once again. Just getting my first light with the Samyang 135. Good on ya. What are you shooting, Martin? I'm sure would like to know. Massive says, I upgraded my AM5 to the AM5N, was worth it to me, but that was before the price hikes. Got ya. Yeah, that makes sense. That's something I'd not actually folded into that. Tariffs. Hyperstar on the 8 as a cheat code. Yeah. Hyperstar, man, it's pretty darn good. Need a target to shoot tonight. You pick. I'm so sorry I'm getting to this so late, Pisani. Which hemisphere are you located in? And maybe we can give you a target selection. If you let us know a little bit more about your gear as well, whether you're shooting, you know, wide or quite punched in with a long focal length instrument. Are you using mono, one-shot color, or one-shot color with a narrowband filter or something? Let's get on this, yeah. NEAF 2026 is April the 11th and 12th. Maybe I need to plan visiting grandkids in upstate New York this year. Thank you again for that tip, by the way, Deep Space Astro. I live in upstate New York. First rounds of drinks on me at NEAF 2026. Damn. Tons of IFN around it. That's good to hear, Milkman. Yeah, I don't remember catching any IFN. I'm sure I shot it, but maybe I'm thinking of something else, you know. Wouldn't be the first time. Mike says, hopefully Nina 3.2 will be released anytime soon. Yeah, my melee struggles with full frame 6200. I'm glad to hear it's not just me. Yeah, it's just been most of the time. Genuinely, Mike, I thought about doing that. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I'd be doing the SQA 106 a bit of a disservice by binning on it at this. But yeah, it would be a good solution. Richard says, been able to capture about 4 hours of HA to add to my 12 hours of M31 imaging. What would be the best way to bring them together in PixInsight? I would suggest for you to try, Richard, the emission line integration script. That's probably the best way to do it. I'm going to be just straight up with you and let you know that it's not something I actually have done much of, really, at all. Adding HA to broadband data, so it's not something I've got a massive amount of experience that I can pull from on that one. So I'm sorry I can't be, you know, hugely helpful. But yeah, try the emission line integration script. That would be my advice to you in the first place on that. Massive says, I'll be chasing A6 Lemon in the morning. And mate, I saw your let me just bring some mention to this. Massive in the chat right there has been shooting A6 Lemon, and I saw your shots. This one right here, the first, and then as it's brightened. What a fantastic shot that is, mate! Congratulations on a really nice capture there, dude. Well done indeed. But yeah, that's fantastic to see that. Andrew, thank you so much for that, mate. First time tuning into a stream, super nice atmosphere, and you're a sound K. Oh, thank you. Have you been to any star parties here in the UK? Any recommendations? I have, yeah. I've been to, thank you again, by the way, Andrew. I really appreciate the support, mate. I do. To answer your question, I've been to 2 of the star parties, and the names are eluding me right now. Crap. I'm sure the vlogs are posted on my channel somewhere, but they're not equal. Some of them are a little bit smaller now. It depends what you're going for. Whether you're going for just like the vibe and hanging out with people. If you're going to be meeting up with like-minded folks, then venue doesn't really matter. But if you're trying to go and get yourself a particular piece of equipment, because oftentimes they have show floor discounts, don't they? You're going to want to attend, ideally, a bigger show rather than a smaller one, where you can have a bit more choice and you don't have to, be queuing up to enter the show floor at the crack of dawn as soon as it opens, kind of thing, to get the item you want before it sells out. Goodness gracious, why can't I remember the name of the Astro shows here in the UK? I'm drawing a blank. My brain's just stopping working here, Andrew. I'm sure if I heard him, I'd get it figured out. But I'll just catch up with chat a little bit further. So yeah, massive cracking job, dude, and thank you for sharing your work on capturing Lemon. That's I love seeing things like this. You know what I mean? Casey says, I have a damn line in the middle of my 6200. No way. I have to send it in. Didn't even know it had APC. Oh, APS-C mode. Really? You can shoot with a region of interest from the center. Eh? That's quite cool. Brody has figured it out. Oh, okay, so you managed to get your 30 second and 2 second. That was the 2 minute rather together. I'm glad you got that sorted out, Brody. It's not something I've got loads of experience with. Again, this is another thing I'm lacking on. You know what I mean? So adding narrowband data to broadband, that's something I don't have much experience with. And trying HDR compositions as well. I don't have too much with that either. Now that I'm home, I'll work on that email. I didn't forget. Yes, I'm glad to hear it, Casey. Genuinely, mate, I am waiting for the updated recommendation list. I've been trying to remodel my bedroom a little bit to make it a bit more safe for my son, because another random tangent, here you go. But yeah, I like to obviously get in bed. I can't sleep so easy these days. I find my mind just kicks off, mate, and I really need to be listening to something to have a chance of getting to sleep. So lately I've been putting podcasts on, but I find a good way to wind down is to watch something for a while, as long as it's not something that's going to irritate me or something like that. And that's where your list is going to come in. I'm going to start working through stuff that you've recommended. But yeah, I've been remodeling my room a bit, trying to make it a bit more baby safe, because I know a lot of people don't recommend for it, but I find myself having a lot more peace if we co-sleep with my son, rather than having him in his own cot or whatever. I don't know what it is. It's probably just a me thing, but I find that I'm a lot more settled if I know exactly where he is and I know he's right next to me. That way, if he stirs at all, because I mean, you sleep like a cat or something. You wake up at the smallest thing when you've got a baby in bed with you. But I can be straight on top of it then. that said, I don't have to do it much because he's really quite a good sleeper. And that's been the tangent. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the email, Casey. That's the long and short of it. Old Geeks Gazing, I have my Ascar 71F with me. Nice. Well liked scope, that, mate. But use ASI Air on my 2600 Duo. Never used Nina. No wrong with that, mate. I really like the ASI Air. I mean, all this chatting that we're doing here, I mean, yeah, Nina's plugging away, but so too is the ASI Air. It's doing the same thing for me. You know what I mean? Serge, evening to you, Serge. Good night, Pedro. Sorry, you've undoubtedly gone, but if you do catch up on this or on the off chance you're still here, thanks for spending some time with us, mate. Just testing tonight, says Martin. Nice one, mate. Been having fun trying to get focus on the Sol Nebula for a little while now. Well, have you considered a Batinov mask, mate? If you're having trouble getting yourself in focus, that removes the guesswork, basically. Can be a very effective bit of kit. Para says, hey, hello there, Para. Good to see you. I think it's the first time I've seen you in chat, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Pisani's Workshop C11 AM5N. Oh, okay. Have a Hyperstar, but not on Northern Hemisphere. A few hours difference from you in the US and Massachusetts. Okie dokie, Pisani. Ooh. Now, depending on what camera you're working with, you're working at a very long focal length there. So, I'm going to say lean into it rather than fight against it. Go after something on the smaller side, perhaps. Let's fire up Stellarium for just a moment. Crack this thing open. Ever so sorry about making chat disappear and stuff. All right. Let's have a little pan around. I'm going to try and find a suitable target for Pisani's Workshop, as he's asked, for his C11. Now we're around the new moon, aren't we? So might be the time to make use of pure broadband if you're not getting too much light pollution out there in Massachusetts. Something small, something broadband. That's what my gut's telling me. Have you ever tried a cluster in particular, by the way? That could be something interesting to try. That's going to be not a good target there. You've got me stitched up here, I think, Pisani. I'd really love to try to find something decent for you. Depending on the size of your camera, I mean, M33 might be within your reach. If I just simulate roughly the AJ-HD11, that's going to have the same focal length. It'd have to be full frame, I suppose, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's... I mean, you might have a full frame camera. I don't know. Could shoot M27, like I am, getting a last gasp on the Dumbbell Nebula. I think that's a beautiful target. Trying to think of something a bit out there for you, though, to be honest. Have you hit the bubble before? Now, that is a beautiful target, and it can still look awesome, even in broadband. So that's got to be on the list, potentially. Any suggestions coming in chat, by the way, to help out Pisani with his C11 for his plan for tonight? Couple of nice irregular clusters. That could be an option for you, you know. Depending on how good your skies are, I think that'd be a bit of a push, probably. Hoping that you're living under immaculate skies. I'm going to say, if you haven't already got it, mate, you haven't already got a shot, try shooting the same thing as me, M27, because then at least you can have some fun if you want to, cross-referencing, you know what I mean? Seeing what mine's looking like, seeing what yours looking like, judging, you know, differences from our imaging locations, that kind of thing. That could be a bit of fun for you. So, yeah, I'm going to suggest M27 if you can get on it. Right. Astro Gear, let's take a look, see if anything new has been dropped in for us to take a look at. It's gone quite a long way up here. Kieran's been designing some more 3D printing stuff. Good on him. That's awesome to see. Oh yeah, I remember seeing this chap sharing his rig. Okay. Dave the Poms, here's my setup. Nice, Dave. I like that with the, I'm assuming, a Uranus camera on the back. SQA 55, Star Adventure GTI. You're gonna have some fun with that, mate. Definitely, I do. Thank you for sharing that one. Probably gonna switch to an OAG eventually. It says 2 int, but this has been nice. Not wrong with that. Is that one of the? Oh no, it's not a WIFD focuser, is it? I think that's a rack and pinion on the back. Beautiful looking scope and setup either way. Yeah, I like that. Nice to see it in its habitat. Ready for some imaging, I'm assuming. It looks like a nice sky ready, getting darker. Vincent VDB is sharing a video. Built this to film what's 7,500 light years away. Nice. Just inherited this guy, says Bolide. Anyone have experience with the one? LXD55. Is that a standard Newtonian or one of the Schmidt Newtonians with the corrector plate up front? Unless these are the vane supports and they're, you know, 90 degrees opposed. I can't see, you know, holes through the side where you've you'd have the vane tensioners basically. So I'm wondering if it is a Schmidt Newtonian or not. Cool though. Nice to get something like that. Let me just try to catch up a little bit with chat as well. Is the scene pretty bad tonight in the UK? Yes. Sam, I'm going to say that it is, mate. I've not been blown away so far, and I had the same sort of thing. I had a bit of PhD2 wobble a little bit earlier. I mean, when you just look with your eyes, basically, you can see the stars are scintillating a fair bit, shaking around. Did you hear they found evidence of life on Mars and found proof of dark matter? So I haven't heard about the proof of dark matter thing. That's really a bit of a shake. But yeah, the evidence of life on Mars thing, that's really cool, mate. Yeah, I did see the press, the presser thing from NASA that they'd put out, where they said that they'd put it out to the scientific community quietly and asked them to basically, you know, will you poke holes in it, please? And apparently the consensus came back that, well, we can't right now. So it looks like potentially they may have found, you know, fossilized evidence of previous life on Mars. I think that's really cool. DP John, nice to see you again, mate. Hope you're keeping well. I'm doing all right, mate. Hope the same for you. But yeah, thank you for sharing that, Casey. I love keeping up with Astro news a little bit, you know what I mean? Currently shooting the Cocoon in UV IR myself. Got a clear night for once in the northwest of the UK. Nice. Cocoon's a beautiful target, innit? Any chance to try a new Discord link? Yes, Richard. I'll get that sorted for you, buddy. Let me just invite people. I don't know what I'm definitely doing something wrong. I'm almost certain it's me. But these links keep expiring, sadly. So I'm going to make a link now. I will pin it to the top. So hopefully you can see that. And yeah, you should be able to join the Discord from that, buddy. Now, I have heard some people saying, and this could be what's going wrong. It might not be the link that's going wrong, but different browsers, different devices can have different outcomes when trying to join a Discord channel. So apparently some browsers can be a little bit iffy with it, basically. So if you don't have luck on one, perhaps try on a different device if you can, if it's not too much of a pain. Outside trying to capture the Heart Nebula. Okay, so glad I caught the live stream whilst waiting for the suns to come in. Nice, John. Glad to hear that, mate. Good luck on the Heart. I'm shooting it too. I'm shooting the Heart and Soul with the SQA55 as well, buddy. Thank you for the advice. Going to try a mission line integration now. No problem at all, mate. Yeah, I hope that works for you. Mr. Matiko. Gideon. How's it going, Gideon? Nice to see you. Haven't had a lot of time for Astro and or watching your live vids. Home remodel, live stuff, holidays. All the best stuff. Yes, mate. It's good to see you. All the same. I hope you're doing well and not burning the candle at both ends too much. All red or clear outside is funny because I've seen it all summer. Oh, mate. FLO of the SGL Star Pie advertising their site for October in Somerset. Okay, yeah. I know there's another one at... oh, what's the name of the bloody... I'm going to have to just Google it. Astro Conventions UK. UK Astro Show. Practical Astronomy. I've been to that one. And what's the other? Don't know. The Practical Astronomy show was all right. The other one I went to was a little bit small, perhaps, if you were looking like genuinely to go buying stuff. But yeah, that might have just been two different convention halls though at play because you know, space can be a bit limited. But I digress. Let me try to catch up. I realise I'm dropping behind a little bit, so used to listen to Starship engine hums and engineering ambient noises when I can't sleep. That's interesting, yeah. I currently listen to, of all things, a Dungeons and Dragons podcast called Critical Role. It's a bunch of voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons together, and yeah. I don't know, it's long, so, right, it's multifaceted. It's interesting enough that it holds my attention, so my mind doesn't just wander off and just start thinking about existential stuff, right? But it's not like too in your face that you can't go to sleep because it's too interesting and you have to listen to it all. So that's a good thing with it, and it's also able to be listened to just, you know, purely without the visual element like I do. I just put it on my phone basically. Not just a me thing with it, we did that a lot too. Yeah, that's fair, Mike. I mean, right from the start, to be honest, we intended on having my son in a next to me cot, is what it's called, you know, where you've literally got them at the same height as your bed. It's like just an extension of the mattress kind of thing. He didn't like it. He wanted to be right next to us. And I didn't like it. I wanted him next to us. So, yeah. It worked out okay. He of course takes over the bed, but we don't mind. Absolutely love him to bits. He's coming on so fast, I'll tell you that much. It's really just crazy to see now how he's changing. After buying all those expensive filters, I like only two filters now besides mono. Infrared and NBZ2 for most stuff. Casey, we are the same, brother. You and I, we are the same. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you say IR. I'm assuming you mean UV IR cut. Because those are my favorites. That and dual band filter, basically. All good. No worries, Andrew. Most just be to hang out. Also seen in the US, there's events where everyone shows up with the rigs at a dark sky and gets data. Yes, star parties, mate. So there was a star party just happening in the UK, like yesterday and the day before, I think. One where you turn up and it's like a camping ground. And you set your rig up there. I'd love to attend one of those as well at some point, to be honest with you. holding my daughter's hand while she slept in a bassinet. First time parent jitters. Yeah, basically, mate. I mean, you get it. You know what I mean? You don't need me to try to find some way to explain it. You get it. You know what I mean? 100% agree with you on the comment about ASAR and Nina. Important thing is that it works for you and the equipment you have. Mike, exactly. That's precisely what I wanted to say, but didn't quite articulate. Yeah, it does what I want it to do, and it just works. So I don't feel any strong urge to like change it, get away from it, or anything like that. I just love that it does its job, gets on with it, and it's easy to use. Definitely is. Never actually caught one of these streams before. Nice. Well, I'm glad you're here now, mate. I hope you're enjoying it. Or at least probably feels like the partially live experience, given that this isn't something, that doesn't happen often. It happens every stream. I'm not going to lie to you. I end up behind on chat. For sleep, I listen to an audiobook, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Mate, I need to do that as well. So I went through a phase of doing the same thing. I laugh if you like, but I was listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks, and I really enjoyed them. The problem was they were slightly too interesting, so I'd find myself, like I've put it on for a reason. I'm trying to get to sleep, but I bloody can't because I'm just enjoying the story too much. But yeah, I know it inside and out, so I don't have to pay attention, so no concentration, but it allows me to drift off in Middle Earth. Very nice, yeah. So I'm going to try that. I've got the Lord of the Rings audiobooks. Haven't listened to them yet. So that's a good recommendation. Thank you. Wolf's Cave is a recommendation for what was his name now? I'm so sorry. Pisani. There we go. Pisani's Workshop. Yeah, could be. Tolkien is so good for that, just dozing off into Middle Earth. Alright, that's 2. That's a +2 for it. Asleep to Hackers. Angelina's voice is soothing. Hackers. Not heard of it, bud. 2600 MC. Okay, so you're using APS-C size sensor. Alright, so you've got a good usable field of view with that. Well, I think I'd stick to my original recommendation. If you don't already have an image of it yet, mate, then I think M27 could be a shout. You know what I mean? I love, this is just personally speaking, of course, your mileage might vary, but I love to see broadband images of some of these targets that are always traditionally shot in narrowband. I feel like it offers a new aspect on them, a new view, and it feels very natural as well, looking at these targets that way. So that would be my shout. Abel85, another recommendation for you. Damien, good to see you, Damien, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Just spent 30 minutes watching your peer install from 2 years ago. Oh, fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it, Damien. Yeah, would you believe it? Of all my videos that I've made, I still get like lots of comments on that one. Still popping up to this day. It seems that people enjoyed seeing that pier get built. At the moment, I'm using the ASI 183 MC Pro, thinking of using filters. What would you recommend? Okie dokie. Well, pretty much like I was talking about earlier, Julian, when I was just messing around and talking to Casey there. UV IR cut is probably my favourite filter, and I don't live in some glorious skies. It's about bottle low 7, high 6 here, but I find that I always enjoy the imagery from UV IR, and a dual band filter, a good one if you've got one. That would be my other recommendation. I think you could just about do everything with those two, largely speaking, mate. That'd be what I'd say to you. I think, just to finish what I'm talking about there, a lot of these companies out there want to sell you this filter and that filter, claiming it's going to solve all the problems and it'll make your breakfast as well. And this is light pollution filters I'm really talking about here now, broadband light pollution, and they just don't, mate. I've never had one that I've been happy with. You get the contrast benefit that they claim, and you go, wow, when you see an individual sub come in and it's, you know, less gradient, and you think, great, because the background looks darker. Once you've stacked the data, I just don't find that it ever looks as good as UV IR cut data when we're shooting, you know, broadband kind of stuff. I think the tools that we have access to these days in terms of software tools, rather than hardware filtration for broadband light pollution problems, background extraction, the PixInsight Mars tool, if you do have PixInsight, that kind of thing, has all the answers that you need for the light pollution problem and gradient removal and that kind of thing. So that would be me. I have tried a bunch of light pollution filters because when I first got started, I thought that was the main thing that was going to make a big difference for me. And it didn't. It just made my images worse, arguably. But yeah, that's me. M27 it is. Thank you. Yes, I'm glad to hear it, mate. If you do get, you know, a shot of M27, mate, I'm wishing you all fingers crossed, maximum luck. You'll be able to get a good usable session on it. I'd love to see what you come up with from it. So if you wouldn't mind posting it in the Discord, if it's not too much trouble, over in Astro Images right there. Yeah, I will absolutely see it, and I would love to see it, to be honest, because I feel personally involved in it now. Thank you for asking, by the way, mate. I'm honoured that you'd ask me for a target selection. Able85 in Stellarium is wrong. Use CTB1 for the correct object. Interesting. Brody says, I forgot to tell you, Luke Darpite had a raffle, and I bet $10 for a C-Star S50, and I was 2 tickets off from winning. Oh, that's rough, buddy. That is rough. If you're struggling with PhD2, an IR pass filter might help. Yeah, I suppose if you're using short exposure and you're perhaps chasing the seeing, yeah, that could be a thing, mate. That's an interesting suggestion, that, Martin. Yeah. Join from the description one just fine. Okay. Well, I expect now probably the description one is broken since I've regenerated that new link, sadly. But yeah, you got in there ahead of time, so that's good. Owls squawking outside in the cemetery at the bottom of the garden. Nice to hear. Alas, not as many foxes these days. Mate, we used to have foxes all over the shop here, but since they started building a lot of houses nearby, a lot of the fields and such, of course, well, gone the way of the dinosaurs. They've got houses built on them now. You do occasionally see them, but nowhere near as often as I remember as a lad. But yeah, it's now just the occasional urban fox that you'll see trotting across the road in the middle at night. Critical Role, let's mark that down. Yeah, highly recommend it, Gideon. There's a whole massive fan base and following behind Critical Role kind of thing, because the voice actors are fairly famous who do it. And there's also some argument as to where you should start if you want to start at the beginning, because when they started the podcast, the audio quality was really poor for like the first episode or two at least. So some people argue that you should start around episode 27. Oddly, I think that's what my memory says, but a Google search would find that out for you. But yeah, in all seriousness, going off on another tangent, Anna, but give it a go, Gideon. I think you would enjoy it, mate. Okay. Apparently Gemini's listening to me and trying to help me with some issues. Fair enough. Video games are the worst before bed. Wired, like having 20 cups of coffee. I would agree, depending on the game. So, yeah, if you were playing some sort of like shoot 'em up or whatever, yeah, mate, I'd probably be having an hard time getting to sleep. But if I'm just chilling out playing some World of Warcraft or something equally relaxing, it can be pretty helpful overall, yeah. I'll try Lord of the Rings for sleep. Spotify seems to have the version narrated by Andy Serkis. No way. Mate, I'll have to get on that. Stellamate asks Cosmic Ray. Good to see you, by the way, Cosmic Ray. Have you used and reviewed it? I tried Cosmic Ray. Yeah, I tried recently. So, well, I say recently, a couple of months back, and then I tried again since because the company really, I felt like they'd listened to me when I gave them a load of feedback. So for people wondering what we're on about here, I'll just go off on another little one. Talking about this little device right here. It's just currently living in my drawer, but this is a Stellamate by TubeTech, and it promised a lot, and some people had some luck with it. I didn't personally. I'd never even had one successful session with this thing, so for me it was a massive headache, and for that reason I can't recommend it. But yeah, hopefully newer models, perhaps if they've changed the hardware or something, might be a bit better. But yeah, as I say, I had such a bad experience with it, mate. I just can't possibly recommend it to you. Astrodon filters solved all my problems. That's fair play, mate. Yeah. Peter Baldwin, how's it going, Peter? Good to see you. Your name, Baldwin. I don't know why, but it's just made me want to watch Kingdom of Heaven again. If you've seen the film, Orlando Bloom, The Crusades. Yeah, cool film. The reason I'm talking about Baldwin anyway is because King Baldwin is a character in that film. Mike959 says, filters can cause halo issues that are even worse, if not impossible to deal with. That's true. Yeah, depending on your filter, man, they can be a nightmare. Pete's Astrophotography says, I'm glad to see you still here, Pete. I used to use the L Pro filter, but after switching to the simple UV IR cut filter, I realized just how much the L Pro butchers color. Brother, exactly. I found the same thing. Oh, crikey. Casey. I did find the exact same thing, by the way, Pete. Yeah, so hard to process for color with an L Pro filter. Casey, you're a legend. There's no two ways around it, buddy. I just genuinely now, I hope you know how much I appreciate what you do. None of this kind of thing is feasible, possible without your support, at least not in the way that I like to do it on here. So yeah, you make it all work for me and my family. All you guys giving the support in that kind of manner. It's so kind of you, and I appreciate it. It's not lost on me. Thank you. Mark, how's it going there, Mike? Mark here from Dublin. I'll just catch up really quickly. Hang on. Is it too late to post a photo for a reaction? Not at all, John. No, go ahead, mate. I will start working my way through. I'll start at the top so we can see people's work from tonight, and then I'll go back down. And yeah, as Damien says, my partner just now, she's retiring. She wants to know if I can... Ooh, want to move out of the US, buy a house and build an observatory. Wow. Or traveling image. Now that is quite the question, Casey. Oof. Is there any chance your partner's retiring? So I'm trying to think, is it all on the cards that you could look at renting or buying a recreational vehicle, an RV, and doing a little bit of traveling around together and get the best of both worlds. Experience some different places together because you enjoy your traveling. Enjoy one another, you know what I mean? Out on the road, that feeling of adventure. I'm sure it'd be a lovely way to add a final punctuation mark right after the wrapping up of your partner's career. Getting out and just doing something that you otherwise can't do, you know what I mean? And then maybe you'll find somewhere you might both like to put your roots down, you know what I mean? But that's just me. To make it worse, the guy who was sitting next to me earlier in the day convinced the Ticketmaster to give him 2 extra tickets. No way. That's a scam, dude. Oh, you've been ripped off there, Brody. I would be seething, mate. I mean, that's the nature of a raffle, I suppose, but that sounds like a scam, doesn't it? Sounds bad. Critical Roller, awesome. Oh, man, I'm glad you're a watcher, dude. Although I stopped watching halfway through the first campaign. Spoke too soon. No reason really, just stopped. That's fair enough, yeah. Trying to think now, there is a few lulls, perhaps, once they've wrapped up like one major story arc, and then they get into the next one. I've not tried season 2, season 3, or anything like that yet. It's all just been season 1. I've listened to the whole thing like twice now, because I just liked it more than the others. Yeah, good fun, mate. Great news, Casey. Yeah, I missed that, didn't I? That is good news. I'm very happy for your partner. That's a nice thing to be able to do now. Still use my SV Bonnie 503 102 ED Achromat. And the SV260 is good for one-shot colour. Tonight's first light for Mono 571. Ooh. Nice, mate. Yeah, good choice. Iris Nebula on a new moon night. I think it's new moon, isn't it? Yeah, good stuff. Congratulations, by the way, on the new gear there, Serge. That's really cool. If you're physically well, then travel is great for a bit. As I've gotten old now, I wish I'd get a better spot for an observatory. Yeah, I think that's a good take on things for sure. And thank you again, by the way, Casey. Truly, mate. Hand on heart, I appreciate the support. I really do. Really, I do. Luke and chat. What's the most reliable and best mini PC to run a rig? Not an SIR. Can't remember which PC you had lots of issues with. Let me have a think on that one for a moment, Damien. So my gut right away jumps to the B-Link PCs. Now, some people don't like the B-Links because they're a bit fan phobic, like because they're active cooling, they've got cooling fans in them, they're worried it might introduce vibrations to the rigs, which is a valid concern, but I can say that I've got 2 of them. I know it's a small sample size, but neither of them vibrates at all after hundreds and hundreds of hours of use. So for me, it's not something I'm going to worry about at all. Now, this is another good option. Hang about. Nearly dropped something down on myself then. Yeah, you can get versions of this. Damien? Melee Quieter. Just a really small mini PC rig. I can recommend this too, although the thing I don't particularly like about it is that it gets very warm, so it might impart some unexpected heat to your rig or around your rig if you're using it, especially attached, let's say, or very close to the OTA. It's gonna radiate because it is like a little radiator, which might be not what you want. I would say the B-Links, it vents the heat away very effectively. It never has a chance to really get hot. So that's one advantage to them, I would say, mate. Keep the tutorials videos coming. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Mark. I'm really glad you like them. Thank you, mate. Go with a melee, can't go wrong with them. Yeah, a lot of people like them. That's my SN10 Jason. So is this you then, Jason? Yeah, we were just looking through, mate, trying to catch things up. Ed has decided to get a larger Apo, and he's certainly done that with a 140 Apo. That's a big old scope, you know. You know, I can't help but say this, Ed. I do feel like I'd be having a bit of a panic attack if you're pointing at zenith with that thing, because it looks long enough that your filter wheel could bonk into those tripod legs, you know what I mean? Might be worth looking at a pier to replace this with, the TC40. But yeah, beautiful scope. Congratulations to you on that one, mate. It feels pretty solid. It's nearly as tall as me. I can believe it, yeah. That's one swish looking flat panel you've got there, sir. I want to point this out as well. I love the finish. This it's like a fine speckle, almost like a powder coat, but not. I don't know what it really is, but it's a lovely finish on these scopes. Much better finish than you would expect. The Wanderer V4 EC flat panel. Very nice. Size comparison with the hoods and tube retracted. Jeez, that's quite the difference, isn't it? It looks like "Don't talk to me or my son ever again." It could be that meme, you know what I mean? Looks like this thing could be its guide scope now, if you weren't using off-axis guiding. But yeah, the scope is a little large for that mount. Yeah. It's someone else saying the same thing, Loki. They probably have problems pointing close to zenith. Long time away. Just finished my new rig. I'm going to catch up, by the way, with chat as well, properly as well. My throat's getting a bit dry. We're on the hard stuff again tonight. Look at this. Pepsi Max. Really pushed boat out there. Still saving for either an ASI Air Plus or an ASI Air 585. Okie dokie. Well, looks like you've got a very handy rig in the meantime, mate. There's probably no great fire lit underneath your bomb to get that changed out. I imagine you're having loads of fun with it. So congratulations on that, David. Pretty salty. Pretty salty in the moment, but I'm over it now. I believe you. Yeah, you're definitely over it. Let's just have a look. I love it, but I cannot be in a moving vehicle for days at a time. We're older, Luke. Our routes are spread. As you know, last year wasn't fun. Yeah, that's fair, Casey. It's a difficult one to say, buddy. If you feel like, if this were just me, if you feel like you're at the point in your life where you're still okay with the idea of a big change, because moving house, I'm going to say, is no small thing, is it? Then why not? Unless there's anything truly anchoring you to where you currently live that you absolutely love and it'd give you, a major downturn in quality of life, leaving it behind, then I feel like the new adventure and the new possibilities that always come with that kind of thing might be a really positive thing in the long run. But yeah, I'll talk about it with you as much as you want, by the way. But I don't want to seem like I'm giving any real advice on this, because I just ain't got that much life experience. Do you know what I mean? I've just got my thoughts that I can offer, and that's about it. Can't wait for season 4 to start. That's fair, mate. So there's another critter. Good stuff. Good evening or morning, Luke. I'm going to still say it's night, yeah. But same to you, Daniel, by the way. All jokes aside, buddy. You're very welcome, but Pete is the goat. Oh, mate, we do have Pete's cam. Have I managed to get it back on, by the way? I've been rebooting this thing, trying to get it to work. No. Why is it not working? I'm just trying to change the feed to Pete's cam there. Those of you who don't know, the chap there in the live stream chat that we're referencing, Pete, has been a massive supporter of me and my channel for a heck of a long time. So I got a new camera at one point, and while we were trying to figure out what we were going to name it, it got named Pete's Cam, and it stuck. He needed something doing in his honor. But yeah, B-Link works great for me. That's good to hear, mate. Yeah, Melee quieter. I use Melees, but also have a couple of Nooks with fans and never had an issue with vibration. That's good to hear. Yeah, I've got a Nook as well, hanging about. I haven't used it that much for astro imaging, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think my Nook runs a bit hotter than the B-Links. I will say that, but it's a bit of an older one. I think it's maybe an 8 series, i3 or something like that. Mike, exactly. I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, wish I had a better spot for an observatory. This is true. It's an hard one because, like I say, I think changing locations and traveling around in an RV, if you still would have been so much fun. But it's I fully appreciate the opposite side of the argument. A lot of what we do is just, you can just have a pier and sink your roots in right where you are or wherever you want to be, and wait for the seasons to change, and that in itself is a very pleasurable thing. Becoming in sync with your location rather than it being an ever-changing thing. You know, once you've been in a place a while, you do start to become more in sync with your environment, and especially when we pay as much attention to the environment as we typically do as astrophotographers. It's not just short-term weather patterning that you're paying attention to, but more the long-term passage of seasons and experiencing the seasonality of your place. I know not everywhere has the full gamut, but we certainly do here in the UK, so we get to see those changes, and that can be a lot of fun. Something is brewing. Crikey, mate, it looks like it is. What on earth? That is a monster. Or at least it looks monstrous. That's, what is that? This looks DIY. I mean, it looks really good. But the mount, I don't recognize. It looks bloody heavy duty. I will say that. Oh, is that what it is then? A Fornax 51. Blimey. Might be a little over-mounted. Yeah, I'd say that, but better over-mounted than under-mounted, that's for sure. Oh, while it's in my mind, let me just say this as well. By the way, I'm not... I'd just tell you, I'm not sponsored by any of these mini PC people or anything like that, but B-Link recently released a YouTube video showing their production line, how it works in their factory. Mate, it looks so good. It's just like it's clean, and things are getting put together well. Do you know what I mean? With care. So that's got to be a plus one rather than some of these random no-name like Amazon PCs that you'll see out there. But the B-Link stuff, there's a YouTube video. I'm sure you'll find it if you just search for B-Link manufacturing or something like that. It's a very recent thing. I don't know how the hell I came across it, but I was just mesmerized. It was like watching one of those, I don't know if you guys will remember, but there used to be a program that came on called How It's Made, where it'd take you through like various factories and production processes and things like that. And it very much felt like one of those in its own way. But yeah, it left me impressed. I think I probably got onto it because I was watching Royal Enfield motorcycles get built in their India plant, and that were another one that, you know, you could tell it's all like brand new tooling and stuff. It just looked pretty good. Maybe that's why it got recommended. Another random tangent for you. Massif's Comet Chaser Kit for the morning. 6-inch carbon fiber f4 294 MC Pro. Nifty. That's a very compact looking rig. Good on you, mate. You've really been getting some nice results on that Comet from it anyway, that's for sure. Let's try to catch up with chat a moment while we just check in on M27. HFR's fairly stable now. Reasonably so anyway. Well, it's moving around, but not too. Right. Catching up. So I remember reading about Pete's Nook. Melee is great, it gets hot, it does, yeah. Switched to an Astro PC Pro and haven't looked back, fair enough. Hey Luke, hey Dave, how's it going, mate? I used phone cooler on my Melee computer, that thing is pretty rugged, that's fair, yeah. I had a B-Link, but couldn't take the Chicago cold. The Melee refuses to fail. I guess that's an interesting one there, David. So I suppose your climate probably gets colder than mine, where the natural, you know, heat coming out of that Melee might be more usable, keeping it above the dew point, etc. If one goes an ASCII 140 or 160, what's the ideal mount if the AM5 isn't big enough? Well, I think the AM5 can hold it, John. I would say it's more just the tripod itself. So I wouldn't ever use a refractor of that length on any tripod. That would be just me. It'd have to be a pier. That's going to remove that risk of a very costly crunch in the middle of the night. But yeah. Splashes Animatronics. Hello. New to astrophotography and was wondering what deep sky objects are good for beginners. Good question, mate. Welcome aboard, by the way, to astrophotography. Now, it depends where you live and what season you're starting in. So, given that you're saying you're new right now, you're looking at, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, of course, it's going to be those autumn targets that are coming around now. So you might find your best bet is to orient yourself with your night sky, get familiarized with how things look at night, and start looking for targets that are going to be rising in the eastern sky, as you're going to get a long time on them, which is going to be quite a useful advantage when trying to familiarize yourself with astroimaging in general. You want some time on target without really too much flipping around the night sky all over. There is a time and a place for that, of course, and if you do find it fun, far be it from me to stop you. But what I would recommend is if you can find something that you like the look of, that is reasonably well photographed, it's not a too rare target, not too faint, that usually goes hand in hand with a great challenge for a very experienced astrophotographer or very dark skies. So I would recommend to you something like the Pleiades M45. That's starting to come up if you're in the Northern Hemisphere right now. Hey, we've been plane bombed. Andromeda, again, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, then the Great Square of Pegasus is quite high right now, and it's a good, bright target. There's a lot of a wealth of information out there on what to expect when shooting that target, so you can see if your experiences are lining up with what's expected. And if something's going wrong, there's also going to be easier for people to help you with a well-known target. And then as winter starts coming on, you're going to have a lot of fun, especially if you can hit Orion, which most of the planet can at some point or another. That'd be my main challenge for you if you want I'll throw down the gauntlet. I'd love to see if you get the chance to take your first image of Orion this year. So yeah, ultimately though, welcome aboard. Don't get put off, because it is quite a steep learning curve, I think, getting started in astrophotography. But just find something that speaks to you a little bit and go after it. On the upside, my friend has given me a telescope. On the exception, I have to figure out what's wrong with it. Having a problem with elongated stars, that's fair enough. Is it across the whole field? Or just corners, one side, something like that? Leaving is no big deal at all. That's fair enough then, Casey. Luke and chat. Lots of good ideas here. Thanks so much. Lots of research to do. The reason is I got PhD 2. Oh, working on a 24-inch dub last night. Holy moly, mate. Yeah, well, one further question, Damon, is does it... I imagine it does. I was going to say, does it have to be mounted to the OTA, or could you, run a little umbilical to like a laptop or something? Then you don't have to have any outlay at all, and you can just, enjoy things for a while where you don't feel pressured to make a quick decision then. But I'm assuming that's probably what you've done if you've already got PhD 2 working. Casey, my wife and I waited too long to make a jump for various reasons. So if you're up for it, move sooner rather than later. Yeah, it's such a big thing, isn't it? I almost feel like imposterish even weighing in at all on it, but I don't know. With my experience of life so far, I just feel like the big opportunities like that don't come along too often, and if you give them a miss for the wrong reason, it can be the sort of thing that you hold with regret for a long time too. So yeah, if there's nothing really holding you back from making the leap, trying a new place with someone you love, then man, I think you could be in for a really good time, basically. Be brave. Be brave. Yeah. Have until March to decide. That's fair. Is there... what... does it have to be a decision solidified by March, Casey? I'm only joking, by the way, when I say be brave. I don't mean that at all. Be rational, if anything. But no, I'm just wondering, is that like a hard deadline that you need to have things figured by, or any recommended galaxies to image in the winter? Well, you can have a good go on Andromeda for a good while into winter, I would say. So M31, that's a good place to start. M33, also another fine choice. A little bit later in the year, you're going to start to have the Great Plough come up, which has got many beautiful targets, M51, M63, most notably M101, another beautiful target you can hit. Depends on your rig a little bit though as well. So if you're using a very short focal length telescope, some of those things that I've just reeled off won't be suitable, whereas others will. So M31 would suit a wide focal length instrument, which is something I'd recommend, by the way, if you haven't already bought yourself a telescope. Start fairly wide, perhaps. How it's made is still on. Whoa! I want to live where you live. That sounds awesome. First serious rig, by the way. Oh, with the C star right next to it as well. Nice. HEQ5, what a workhorse that mount is, eh? Good stuff. Nice, very neat cable management that you've got going on there, buddy. Yeah, you'll love to see it. Congratulations. Hope you have many, many clear nights with that thing. Enjoy yourself, buddy. That's the main thing. Anyone else having a problem with the ASAR, with the download progress bar staying at 0 or some low number? Mine's chugging away nicely. There's a new There's a new update, Casey. I don't know if you've had that just come through, but since I last started my essay, there's been a fresh one that I had to do today. Is it that's broke it, or as long as it's working and still saving the frames, that's what it's all about. M27 subs are looking great. Yeah, they're not looking too bad, mate, I'd say. When it takes a shot, it downloads and then shows a shot at 12 meg. Reinstall and restart. Okay. Check the subs so it's working. Huh. So it just appears to be I'm assuming an app glitch then at that. I use this, can't fault it. B-Link 12th gen. N150, yeah, mate, that's fair. How nice to see a Luca Matico stream today. Oh, thank you, James. I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate. Stellamate X by Icarus. I've not seen one of those. Although I do feel like the Stellamate is a bit like the story of Icarus. It tried too hard, it flew too close to the sun and failed to connect to Wi-Fi. Only regret the things we didn't do, and maybe some of the things you did do. Yeah, I tend to agree, Luke. You tend to regret the things you don't do more than the ones that you do. Yeah, I have my fair share of those. That's fair, buddy. That's fair. I think we all do, and that's part of... I'd say it's got to be part of growing up, hasn't it? You know, like... I don't mean just, you know, becoming surface level an adult, but getting the rest of the stuff that comes with a few years on your back. Experience. Having opportunities go right, go wrong, and stuff like that. That's part of really living. You never know though unless you try them, do you? So, greetings from Chicago, Tom. You've been a long time watcher of this channel, I think, Tom. I'm sure I remember your name from very early on, but I'm not sure I've seen you in a live stream before. So welcome aboard. It's nice to see you, Tom. Hope you're having a lovely day in Chicago. Transcending the cosmos. Hello from Oregon. Hello to you too. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining in. No deadline. My business sold. The update sucks. They all suck. That's fair enough. Yeah, okay, so no hard deadline, Casey. How, if it's not too personal to ask, how is your mobility in terms of, like, let's say an extended holiday? If you could go and try this location, like dip your toe in the pool without having to do a full-on belly flop and just hope for the best, that might be... You could have the best of both worlds then, couldn't you? You know what I mean? You could just try it out ahead of time by staying in I don't know, an Airbnb or whatever it might happen to be, and get a feel for the location where it's actually, you know, where it's like being there for more than a holiday period, but less than living there. If you're in the sort of position where you could make that happen, that'd be such a magnificent advantage to have, I think, in making a quality decision, because you'd be arming yourself with all the possible information that you could have hoped for ahead of time. There's like the emotional aspect of things where, you know, if you feel ready for adventure and a new change and a change of scenery and things like that, that's one thing. But it's such a big change. Being sure of where you actually want to be has to be the biggest part of it, doesn't it? I like this. That is so neat. The micro observatory. That's properly dinky. With the Rover Valley Optics Horizon. Nice shop, by the way. Rover Valley Optics. I've been there a few times in my day. Damn. Nice. That's really cool, mate. Thank you for sharing that. We'll have more love heart eyes on that one. T-Bird. Edge HD 8? Is it? Is it an 8 or a 925? I'm guessing an 8, I think. Looking at the size, it's hard to judge. Yeah, I think it's an 8. Beautiful rig, though. Like this. This is thinking outside of the box. Mounting the ASI Air on there. Fair enough. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Very, very nice rig. And next to a Cannondale road bike. Very nice. I'll bet that thing is lighter than a wet towel. It's just it speaks quality to me. Lovely stuff, T-Bird. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you're in chat. Tiffany Peters, that's me. It's an 8. Ah, nice. Yeah, congratulations. And not just on the scope, but can I say as well, I appreciate the fact that the dovetail matches the fork bottom. Just saying it. Feel like some orange pegs though would probably go well, you know what I mean? Some, I'm assuming they're clip-ons. That'd be a nice accent. Maybe some orange bar tape as well. Are we going too far now? No, lovely bike. And lovely scope. Uses Celestron Omni AZ102 achromatic doublet refractor, on-step installed, and an Exos Nano for R8 axis. Canon EOS 20D camera. I really like my setup so far. That's super, mate. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so the AZ102 4-inch achromat. I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere around f5, f6 focal ratio, so 5 or 600mm with an APS-C sized camera. So stuff like the Pleiades, like I said, M45, that'd be a lovely choice of target for you if you get the chance to shoot that. Although you may find that your stars have fringing and things like that. Try to look past it. It's just part of having an achromat, basically. Don't let it spoil your enjoyment. Orion, for sure. I think you could get some great shots of that. Loads of fun to be had there. You're probably going to struggle shooting stuff like M51. What I will recommend to you, if you're here and still listening, Splashy, then what I'm going to say to you is going onto a website such as telescopius.com can be a great way to make sure you're not going to waste a night, for example, because it's got a tool called a field of view simulator, if you like. So you could go to one of these targets I'm talking about. So like M31, that's the Andromeda Galaxy. And you can simulate the field of view of your telescope. So you'd input the size of your camera, for example, and then the telescope that you're imaging with. So let's say your scope is somewhere around that 500mm focal length mark, perhaps, and you can use an APS-C camera like that. So you can see that Andromeda's possible. You can also see that you might be able to get a better image by rotating to 90 degrees. It'd frame it a little bit better. And then when we're talking about M51, for example, that's quite a small galaxy. Probably would benefit more from a longer focal length. So you can see it's going to be very, very small in the field of view. So it might not be as worthwhile of a target as simply another big one, if you can. Now, M45 would fit well, just as a continued demonstration of this field of view simulator thing for you. You can see this would require a different rotation, realistically, rather than Andromeda. M42 is probably going to look nice in both. So there's some great starter targets for you. Just above M42 is the Horsehead and Flame region. Another very, very beautiful region. This particular star, by the way, might give you some sleepless nights, but don't worry about it. It's got us all. But yeah, hopefully that's useful for you. Telescopius. Plug in your kit as best as you can and kind of simulate the field of view. And from there, that would help you inform yourself to making good target choices. Use one of your videos to process the bubble. Okay. I like the mead. Good old classic tube. Looks very stout on that EQ6. I like it. Well done, Mark. That's a cracker, dude. Thank you for sharing. Turning into a red letter day. Started my first solar eclipse, albeit partial. And now Luke is online. That's really kind of you to say. I think one of these things is a bit more magnificent than the other, and it's certainly not me, but I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate. What do you think to the updated ASI 2600 camera is going to be? I didn't realise any were coming out, Casey. I would just guess at kind of what they did with the updated 6200, where it's going to be faster readout, that kind of thing. I reckon the on-camera electronics are probably as noise-free as they can just about be, because the 2600, the 6200, the 533 are all, I mean, practically fundamentally noise-free cameras as it is. So even if they got them all the way down to truly zero noise, it wouldn't be that much of a change in practice. It'd make them better for lucky imaging and stuff, but yeah, I'm imagining it's going to be readout speed mainly. An Epsilon on the Yumi 20. Very swish looking mount, I've got to say. I like that. The TAC, what a piece of kit. Again, it looks really it looks like squat and thick. It's like a bodybuilder or something. It just looks broad. I like it. Compared to like the sleekness of a refractor, for example. Is that a USB hub, or is that a big heatsink attached to the melee? It looks like a big old heatsink, like thermal pasted on. In fact, it is, isn't it? That's got to be thermal paste, that coloration there. Interesting. But yeah, I can see why they do it. They do get quite warm, those things. And he's using an Artemis. Nice. Beautiful stuff. We will take a look at some of the images now that's being submitted. I think we can have a brief interlude in a moment, though. I'll show you some of those holiday snaps that I said I would. Any interesting dark nebula you guys recommend? Bottle One Skies. The Dark Shark. Yeah. I think that's probably... I'm going to put my money on that, Nathan. I reckon, mate, if you get the chance. Exciting news. My kid's book about space is nearly published. Congratulations. Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a good thing. Getting kids interested in space. 100%. Good on you. Tom Star, you have? Okay. Yes, I wasn't wrong. I'm going to say I do remember seeing your name. I'm sure I do. Fruity. Hi, Luke. Just popping in. March working great on the Quattro. Good to hear that, mate. Doing Triangulum tonight. 3 hours so far. Good on you. Mask. Yes, I'm with you. Sorry. You did. You purchased one of my multi-fit Batinov masks, didn't you? Just 2 weeks ago or something. I'm glad to hear it's been useful for you. That's awesome. Recently did the Dark Shark from Bottle 4 and love that tag. So there's another one for Dark Shark. Can't type with my phone in landscape. Apologies. That's yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that one. Did the Dark Shark as well. So that's, yeah, fair enough. So you've already shot that. I was going to say that's 3, but you initially asked, didn't you, Nathan? Finally joined your Discord, Luke. Plugged up the courage to post one of my images. Super. Good on you, Peter. I can see it right here. So we'll kick things off, actually, with your shot right now. Shot with a fairly modest setup. Lovely. It's very, very natural looking, Pete. I like what you've done. Yeah, loads to see, dude. And I like the coloration you've gone for, the the overall feel of the image. is coherent. Nothing's standing out. It's balanced. Nice work, mate. Thank you for sharing. Can't see John Hudson's. I'll have to go on the Astro Bin page to see that one. Whoa! That's awesome, mate. I like it with the stars in more, I think. I have to say. It's very nice both ways, but the stars add something else to it. Yeah. Whoops. Beautiful. Loads of detail. Loads of detail, as it happens, and very rich coloration has been chose for this as well. I particularly like the fact that there's so much of this, almost like a salmon hue coming through in the background. Gives a feeling of depth, and the oxygen wall in front of it feels very thin. Yeah, love it. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing that one, John. I appreciate that. I'm gonna get some of those holiday snaps on. By the way, I do want to show you like what we got up to. A little bit of fun in it. I promise I won't dwell on them, but yeah. Where are we? So we went to Centre Parks here in the UK, a place called Sherwood Forest. We did not see Robin of Locksley or anything like that. Possibly encountered Friar Tuck. But yeah, all nonsense aside, the main thing is I had a great time with my my partner's family, Chloe's mum and dad. We were there with, and most importantly of all, you know, of course, my son. So let's get on with showing you some of the images. Trying to find where I can start, to be honest. So here he was with grandma and granddad. My son there, you can see, is watching Sesame Street. That's his latest thing that he's absolutely loving. This was just like the lounge area of the lodge. You can see right outside there, it's stuff like ducks and geese walking right up to the door. That were cool. Got some shots of them, I think. We were overlooking a lake, this thing right here. We were kind of around that side. Can't complain. Nice view overall. Quite a bit of the holiday was spent in the lodge when it was raining hard. So I've got quite a few of those photos to try and get through. Where are we now? Nearly there. Chloe terrified herself by accident by encountering this thing in the middle of the woods. Reminds me of Groot or something from Guardians of the Galaxy, but yeah, she saw it, shat herself and took a photo. Don't worry, we won't be on this too long. I did say I wanted to show some of the photos off. Took my boy to a soft play area in there. So there we are. Look at his little peepers. He were happy to be in there. It was one of his first times in a proper soft play kind of thing. Yeah, something tells me he enjoyed it. We had him sat on that car thing there. That were a lot of fun. He couldn't go down a lot of the stuff because he's too small yet, but still, it was fun. We took him swimming a good few times as well, but obviously there's no photos of that. I promise I won't derail the Astro stream too much more. Where are we? So we had a lot of this going on. This is Felix and his grandma. Egyptian geese, I think, popping up. Trying to come right to the doors to get food. which I think bamboozled Felix a little bit because it was his first time seeing animals like that up close. But he liked it all the same. I saw more acorns drop from a tree than I've ever seen in my life because we had some high wind. So right, here I am. Felix is in the pram. I'm looking equally bamboozled. Look at the floor. It is covered with acorns from one tree. Like all the way over there. There's a squirrel as well. But it was just completely covered. And nearly, it just a bit crazy to see that. What else we got to show you? Chloe wanted to bowl. So that's the bowling complex. Pretty heavily worn, I'm not going to lie, but bowling was had. And you've seen most of the vibe of it now, I'd say. Oh yeah, no, this was quite cool. His first time on a big swing thing. So we gently popped him in the middle of that and let him have a little, like a swing back and forth on that. That was quite cool. What else did we do? Oh, encountered like 1 million mushrooms that were just popping up all over. So there were this crazy flush of mushrooms just popped up. Again, a bit like the Acorn Gate scandal, to be honest, but this one was just a little, well, meadowy area of just pure mushrooms everywhere. And that is, there's loads of photos, but most of them you're not going to want to see, to be honest. That was about it. Yeah. What else we got? Oh yeah. Here's me looking very tired with my son watching Sesame Street earlier today. I think earlier today, maybe yesterday, something like that, but yeah. That's a lot of what I've been doing lately. Anyway, sorry for derailing. Just wanted to show you what we got up to. I did promise that I would. Right, let's catch up with chat, and then we're going to take a look at some of the images that you guys have submitted and go through that. Nearly there. Whoops. Not 100% sure of positioning yet. Oh, okay, on the mini PC thing. Scope is on-step and ASCOM compatible. I've seen a few people with automated on-step DOBs. Laptop for planetary is required, but DSO, now the NUC would do it remotely. Very nice. Okay, yeah, got ya. Got myself a clean bill last week. I've limits, but I don't want to bungee jump anyway. Hey, truly, Casey, that's bloody fantastic news, mate. I'm glad to hear you've got a clean bill of health there, mate. Yeah, that's awesome. Really, 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 really happy for you, mate. That's made my evening to hear that. I was afraid I couldn't match the orange. Accessorize. If you don't have your nails painted the same orange as well, I'm just gonna think you're not committed to the bit. You know what I mean? But I'm joking, obviously. Can't wait until these clouds finally go away. Can get some data on the iris. Nice, dude. That's my black SCT in the picture with the amazing 10,000 lumen light on the building next door. You need a shade of some kind, mate. Yeah. Use Telescopius every day. That's good to hear. Sol says, hi, Luco. Got a C11 Edge like you and just finished imaging the Helix Nebula, but did not get some of the faint detail. Okay. Will it make a difference if you expose at 600 rather than 300 seconds in narrowband? Nah, probably not, mate, to be honest. If you've got a modern camera, which I'm assuming probably have, then no, it's probably not going to make too much odds going from 600 to 300, even with very narrowband filters. There will be some difference, but negligible is what I'd say. Alnitak is a rite of passage for us astrophotographers. It is, Pete. It absolutely is. We've all taken a shot at the horse head and flame at some point and gone, what? When you see how Alnitak turns out. I'll just say, for the chat. I recently upgraded from a 2600 MC to a 2600 MM, and the difference is striking. Mono is the real deal. Yes, it's more time required, but the jump is crazy. Worth it. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, John. What was the website again? Telescopius. That's what she said. Did the heatsink on my Melee 2? Fair enough, yeah. Ugliest same but effective. Especially with the SSD upgrade. Alright, got ya. That looks really good, Peter. Mate, it does, doesn't it? Can't wait to get onto these and go through. VDB 152, Wolf's Cave Nebula is a good dark nebula as well. Very true. Shot with Skywatcher 72 ED and an Altar Hypercam 183C. Nice one, Peter. Yeah, I think you've made a lovely capture there, buddy. Thank you for sharing it with us. Just got a ferocious storm with hail, just out of nowhere, or it like scheduled to come. Need to refresh the images page. I will do that. Thank you for the reminder, mate. Fun times indeed. Great times. Thank you for sharing. No problem. Yeah, I would have you know, like gone into depth on it a bit more if I felt like it was needed. But yeah, you get the gist of it. It was just really just an escape a little bit and spend some time just doing family stuff. Thanks for sharing all the images. No problem at all, buddy. I got to tell you one day about the time I got hit in the head by a bobby at the Thames. Really? You got coshed by a policeman? That's crazy. Didn't know it was coming. Damn. Hopefully your gear wasn't out or anything, Brody. Jeez. Genevieve says, I love this wide field view of the North American Nebula. However, all I can see is a dragon now. Hang on, I'm trying to wait for it to kick in. So if I'm imagining dragon, when I see this, I can see one wing furled backwards, one wing going out that way. Its body is there, its head, its neck rather is there, and its head is turned slightly to the right. There. That's the dragon that I see. Hopefully we're on the same page, Genevieve. Some images from last year from Nathan. Okay, mate. Well, this is a tremendously difficult target, the squid, right there. I can definitely say I'm in no hurry to try that myself from my skies. I'm chickening out. I like this. That's some funky coloration, dude. They're all crackers, to be honest, Nathan. Well done. I especially like this, by the way, and I definitely do see a snapping turtle's head right there, by the way, for sure. That's a snapping turtle. There's no two ways about it. I can't be convinced otherwise. Oh, and some more as well from Nathan. Ooh, the Witch's Broom. I've always got time for a Witch's Broom shot, you know. And the tadpoles, the spider and the fly, and the flaming star as well. Crikey, lovely capture. Yeah, I like that. Hey, you know, I've never really realized there's some kind of almost like more tadpole-y type structure, without getting too scientific, around here. It looks very similar, doesn't it? These globules are attached by a tenuous link. Super. I wasn't aware of those, mate. So that's awesome to see. Didn't know it's coming. Still pouring. That's me, and that's the dragon. Yeah. Oh, okay. we're on the same page then. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Mark McManus. We love burgers. We do. Oh yes. The hamburger itself. Lovely shot, mate. Yeah. Lots of colour going on in that. Thank you for sharing. I love close-ups of galaxies. I don't know what it is about them, but it's just every time it does it for me. Without fail. T-Bird. Dark Shark Nebula, LDN 1235, 2% moon. That's very specific, but I respect it. 212 5-minute subs, 533, 71F, and a UV IR cut filter. Good on you. No, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's very tastefully processed, I'd say, actually. Well done. The only thing I'd change, if you want some far be it from me to, you know, say anything about this. It's better than any image I've ever taken at this target, but if you want some feedback, I would say it could stand a touch of noise reduction. I don't know if it's coming through for you guys on the stream quite so much, but it's a very fine noise grain, and it's certainly not disagreeable. But I just feel like one pass of NoiseXTerminator or something would clean that up a treat, because it's such a beautiful image. I think it deserves every little bit of optimization that could be applied. Wonderful work though, all in. That's what I want to finish on with this. Wonderful work. Yeah, love that. Andromeda City, the wizard. On the Discord now, Luke. Fruity Records. Nice one, dude. Ouch. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, mate. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, yeah. I don't know why, but obviously I can see the wizard, right? I can see his hat, and there's his nose, there's his eye, there's some of his beard, and there's his arm and his extended hand that's clearly casting some sort of treacherous spell. But why do these guys look like little worshippers or something? Acolytes, perhaps. That's what I get. I'm letting the Paraidolia run wild. I can't take credit for learning that term, by the way. I got taught it by Pete in the chat. Speaking of Para, here is Para's shot of the Crescent. 10 hours of 5-minute subs, Ball 7 Skies, Zenithstar 73, 294 MC Pro, PixInsight, and the plugins, the good stuff. Yeah. Lovely, mate. Very tastefully processed. I have to say, I do like that. You've fetched out, I want to say, the feeling of that shell really, really well, without it overpowering the rest of the image. So yeah, good on you. Good on you. I like that, buddy. Always afraid to overdo the noise reduction. Thank you. No problem. Yeah. Like I say, it's such a. Please don't let me feedback take away from your image in any way, shape, or form. I want you to know I think it's fantastic. I just think if you want to take it to the absolute pinnacle for my tastes, then a tiny touch of noise reduction. It would be all it would be. I wouldn't change anything else. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Let's. Ooh, finally dark enough to get the first sub for checking stars in rotation. Nice one, Mike. Awesome blue colour coming through on that shark. Very nicely done, Tiffany. Yes, indeed. Really need to step up my game with PixInsight. Beautiful shots. Hey, I tell you what, Casey, I mean, if ever there was a piece of software worth investing some time into, I think it is probably PixInsight at this point in time. So this is one from Pete. My version of Omega Centauri, data provided by Chuck's Astrophotography. The usual Chuck rig, which he uses to such great effect. And here we are, further evidence of that resolved right to its core. Yeah, what can I say? Beautiful processing. Glorious. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about it is not just the processing, but the framing on that one. There's no room to escape the object. It's there, dominating the frame as it should for its position as, I think, the biggest globular cluster. That's right, or at least the closest. Is that right? But yeah, wonderful stuff. The worshipping alien dude stood out immediately when I first. Yes, Pete, it is. I'm not crazy. Well, maybe I am, but yeah, we're crazy together. Took retirement from case to take that dive and have the time. Yeah, I That's fair enough. John Hudson says, thanks. No problem, dude. Good night, Serge, by the way. Sleep beckons. Enjoy your sleep, mate. Yeah. Enjoy it. Thank you for spending your time, by the way, with us in the stream. It's always a pleasure. It really is a pleasure hanging out with you chaps. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I should say. And yeah, you make my evening a hell of a lot better. I hope that you enjoy your time with me. Pete. Wow. That is stellar. Holy crap, man. This glow that you've got over the top of that thing, mate, is... It gives me Northern Lights vibes. You know, that kind of draped curtain feel? Thin veil on the veil. No, that's truly just beautiful, mate. You're a master. Yeah, love it, mate. Incredible stuff. Look at me these videos. Thomas processing Pixie site. Oh, damn. Okay. I'm really glad to hear they've helped you out, Tiffany. That's awesome. You've clearly, I mean, you've got some talent for this. You know, it's evidenced there. This is not an easy thing to process, and you've processed it very, very tastefully. So, yeah, beautiful stuff. I'm glad that I've helped in any way at all. That glow is crazy. It is, Tom. Yeah, it is. That's it's truly standout. Is that one the glow that you've managed to pull out of that thing, Pete? Takes it up to the next level for sure. I don't think. Allow me to just check for a moment. I'm intrigued now as to whether I actually captured anything at all like that on my shot just recently. This was 44 5-minute shots. So I caught some of the glow, but it's definitely not processed as tastily as Pete's is. That was with my my SQA. Yeah, yours knocks that into a cocked hat, Pete. So well done, buddy. So bright and stark. I love it. That veil is stunning. It is. Yeah, it is. It is beautiful. I never listen to Luke. That is good advice, Casey. Never listen to me. I talk such bloody nonsense. Thank you for hosting the videos you do. Squeeze in with a new one. No problem at all, mate. Yeah. No problem at all. Like I say, I do truly appreciate you spending time with me. It feels like, I don't know, just feels like hanging out with your friends, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It's got that get-together vibe. Like we're at a barbecue, only there's no burgers, there's just Astro images. Jakub. I like this, Jakub. 533, SV220, and SQA 55. And how long, sorry, integration? 21 hours. Such a rich field in the background right there. Tremendous stuff. Well done, and thank you for sharing. A nice flat overall image as well there. Just allow me to lubricate the old voice box slightly before we get into the smooth grooves of 86.9 Astro FM. Going radio host on you now. 6 hours of integrated exposure. I'll stop talking nonsense and get on with it. Bottle 7 to 8, mostly duo-band. C-Star, I'm assuming, is that right? Yeah, C-Star is 50. Lovely. To be honest, to see what you can capture with a C-Star is inspiring in its own right, mate. So well done there. You had to mention barbecue now. I'm hungry. Yeah. Sorry about that, mate. I could do with a burger as well. I'm getting seriously hungry. Capture with my Celestron Rasa. So this was one from Chuck, by the way. Chuck's Astrophotography. Absolutely top chap is Chuck. Antlia L filter, 169 5-minute subs, M54. I'm assuming this is quite a tight crop that he's gone for here. Loads of colour, good flat background. Yeah, I like it. I like what he's achieved. So thank you for sharing that, Chuck. I'm about to barbecue some ribs. Oh, KC, I thought we were friends. Why would you do that to me? I could absolutely murder some ribs. Oh, man. I desperately want ribs now. Damn. I'm gonna have to go out, go visit a butcher and get some ribs. I do have a you know, I'm assuming you've seen them, like Kamado Joe barbecues, and I got a big Kamado Joe the other year, and man, slow roasted, well, smoked ribs on that thing are just mind blowing. Yeah, they really are. Combined data from last year with a 12-inch Dob, says Brian Fowler, 294MC, homemade EQ platform. Crikey, mate, I can respect that. With data from an Edge 925 and a Poseidon C and an Umi 20. Well, whatever you've put together, it has made for one hell of an image. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, really, really, really beautiful shot. Well done there, Brian. Really appreciate that one. I cook every time you come on since I'm outside imaging anyway. Oh, mate, that's awesome, actually. Baby back. Oh, mate. Was the dwarf galaxy gobbled up by the Milky Way? The largest, yeah, globular cluster in the Milky Way. Got ya. So is it? Am I misunderstanding? Has it been an interstellar capture, or is it? Sorry, an intergalactic capture that's just ended up, you know, held by the Milky Way, or is it one that's formed here and just been caught relatively close to us? I know there is a globular cluster that's traveling in the wrong direction to the rest of our galactic plane, and is that the Intergalactic Wanderer or something like that? And I'd love to shoot that sometime on a purpose. Anyone bought PixInsight recently? I am unable to purchase it for some reason, says Ratchet Gupta. That is very odd, mate. Are you trying to check out with a VPN or anything like that? That could be a problem, perhaps. Fatu. So Fatu is he's really knocking it out of the park, to be honest with you. He's not been doing it too long. Astrophotography, that is. But his rate of progression has been phenomenal, in a word. Yeah, it really has. He's now taking images of this caliber, which is just astonishing. Really, really, really high quality stuff. Well done. Earth got another quasi moon. I'd heard that. Yeah. The Pope would like to know if the Sistine Chapel needs more noise reduction. You'd have to ask Michelangelo about that one. My gut feeling is yes. Yes, it does. Finally discovered masks. I'm starting to find the reds and oranges that have eluded me so far. Well done, John. I'm really pleased to hear that you're making headway on that, mate. The rest of your image, aside from what you've gone for, of course, with the colour, I just want to mention is very tastefully done. You know, it's gradient free. It's nice and flat. The black level isn't too low. I feel like you've made such a good stab at it there with that colour. I like what you've done, so well done. Keep doing it. I like it, mate. Well done. Now I just see a dragon. Yeah, it's ruined for us all now. Could just see dragons. Gorgeous image though. Yeah. Radio voice was great. Thank you, mate. Imagine if I did the entire stream like that. That'd just be. I mean, it'd be a bit cringe, but it'd be. It would be kind of fun just once. Keep saying failure to retrieve order. Alexander D. Mage. Pac-Man Nebula in SHO. Ooh. I can see, can you make this out through the stream? It looks like there's some dusty stuff leading up to it. There's certainly something going on down here. Looks like a reflection nebula of some kind hanging around there. And a bit there. And there. So I'm wondering if a wide field shot of the Pac-Man might actually be a good shout, because it's worked out for Alexander. I just wonder if a broadband shot would perhaps show more of this kind of structure, if that's possible. But overall, yeah, I like what you've done, Alexander. Thank you for sharing. Crescent for your most recent image. We will get to it. Hopefully so. Anyway, but if I miss it, Mike, please just let me know, and I will specifically go searching it out. So this is Dave's shot. 300 second subs. Wow, that's some dedication. 533 MC Pro, Zenith Star 61, Dewey 14. Processing Pixie site with all the good stuff. Lovely, mate. Yeah, thank you for sharing that one, Dave. I think if you wanted some feedback, by the way, Dave, on it, just something to offer. It looks like there's some background mottling crept in, perhaps over much of the background, but I can see some evidence of it creeping into foreground objects as well. So somewhere along the line, I'm wondering if your data's got slightly polluted by moonlight, that L extreme, given that it's reasonably broad. It's still a narrowband filter, but given that it is reasonably broad on its band pass in oxygen, sometimes moonlit data can pollute a bit. So I'm wondering if we're seeing some evidence of that. But that aside, beautiful shot, and you've got such rich colours. So thank you for sharing that. Milky Way gobbled it up billions of years ago, farmed elsewhere. That's really interesting to know, Damien. Thank you for clarifying on that, mate. Since we're discussing what's the ideal processing / palette for the Seda and Cygnus region, well, that's a good question, John. I feel like, all jokes aside, the whole thing is down to artistic interpretation to a degree. Yes, you are imaging, signals from deep space, if you like. You're recording the relative brightnesses and quantities of gas in a given region if you're shooting nebulae. So if you want to reproduce that in your processing and show those discrete regions properly, or rather, properly is not the correct term. Show them discreetly, then I think the Hubble palette is perhaps the best way to do it, and that's because it maps each of these common wavelengths that you're going to be imaging, hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur, to their own channel, of course, in a way that allows them to have some breathing space between them. So one of the problems you can have, let's say if you didn't use the Hubble palette, is differentiation of those regions can become a little bit muddied, whereas the Hubble palette does a great job of separating everything up, I think, and it allows you to actually look at an image and see what's going on, if you like. You're looking at oxygen when you're seeing that blue and so forth. Lends itself to a very red HA dominant palette. Not sure it works for SHO, seems a bit chaotic. Anything else? Again, that's artistic choice, I suppose, at that point. Depends whether you like the chaos, because it's perhaps more true to what's going on there. I do like the natural look, though, myself sometimes on it. You know, just to shoot it in broadband and get those reds and pinks coming through. What is this? That's beautiful. This is another one from Fatu. 10 minutes per sub. Okay. Color camera, no filter. Jeez, man. It's like a hockey stick a bit. Something like that. Really, really wonderful though. I mean, it's such good processing that's been applied to that. I think if you do see this, Fatu, I know you specifically have asked for feedback given on your images, so I'll offer it to you. I will say that at some point a little bit of green has crept in. At least on my monitor I can see that. But, mate, for the rest of everything that's going on, it's tremendous. And you're doing a really wonderful job in your processing. But like I say, Fatu, I'm not picking on his image. It's beautiful. He's asked in the past for feedback to be given, so I'll give him it. A little bit of green has crept in, is all I'd say. But it's not that distracting at all. It's still tremendous. What tag do you guys use for posting your images on Discords? Asks Jason's Cichlids. Is that how you pronounce it? Cichlids? Just use something that helps us tell what it is, nebula or galaxy. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it, mate, to be honest. I mean, they're up here for people to see, but you know, don't let it stress you out. It's funny, I didn't know what dust was until I went to a dark site. I love those shots now. Mate, I really do need to get out to a dark site sometime, don't I? So many clear nights this year. I've never had so much data. Managed to get 28 hours on the North American Nebula, ASCAR FRAF 300 and a 533 MM Pro. So pretty much the region we were just talking about, isn't it? This is one of the reasons I like the SHO palette, I'd say, is that you can see more of the structure and what's going on almost. It lends itself to describing dimensionality a bit more completely, I would say, does that kind of palette. You get a feeling then of depth and what lies in front, what lies behind, for example, which can be harder to do with broadband approaches or alternative palettes. SHO shines on North American Nebula for sure. I pronounce it perfectly. Yes! I can see from your icon and a little bit of aquatics I did, but cichlid is a type of a tropical fish, yeah? I think. Is it tropical or is it a sea fish? Can't quite remember. I kept tropical fish anyway for a good while. Enjoyed it. Very, very peaceful pastime. To be honest though, going off on another slight tangent just for a moment for Jason's sake, I found myself enjoying the gardening aspect as much as the the actual fish keeping. So I was trying to keep plants living in there, of course. And I found that a lot of fun. Klaus, what happens when a sun-like star dies? Abel 39 shows the result. A near perfect sphere of ionized gases. I'm assuming that would finish in. Planewave CDK 17, a 6200 MM Pro. Astrodome filters. 4 hours of integration time from Spain. Oof. Beautiful. Really lovely shot. So Klaus, I'll be honest with you, Klaus is another person, Klaus Barth here. We've seen a massive leap in his processing come on, and I'm so pleased to have been able to witness it like happening over the course of the lifespan of this Discord. So we've seen Klaus's earlier images. He asked for feedback, I gave it, and you know, he's moved on, he's applied it, and now he's you know, going off on his own and creating images like this. It's fantastic to see his personal development in his astro journey. Sculptor Galaxy. I'd love to shoot this one, you know, Chuck. With his Rasa telescope, 533 MC, Antlia L, 12.67 hours. What a stonking shot, Chuck. That is beautiful, mate. Now, yeah, it's super clean. There's a tiny bit of hatching going on, but we do see this sometimes popping up, and I think it's, when viewed in context, because I'm pixel peeping, like jumping around like this, when viewed in context that it's offered, it's fantastic. You know what I mean? It's A-pod quality. Really, really wonderful stuff. So thank you very much for sharing that, Chuck. I particularly like, by the way, I will say this, how carefully he's fetched out the glow around the body of this galaxy. That gentle glow is chef's kiss. He's a master at his art. I'll take that setup. Aquascaping, that's the word. Correct. Tropicals from Africa. Got ya. Had them for a while yourself. Awesome. Yeah, I kept, I mean, it were really micro stuff, to be honest. Most of where I had in my tank. Neon tetras, that kind of thing. Cardinal tetra. Rasboras, I want to say. I've mainly kept small fish. I think it's cichlids. I wanted some, but if I might be talking absolute nonsense, so please do let me know. But as far as I know, they create a fair bit of waste in the tank. Is that right? And I don't think my tank could have supported that amount of waste going into it, because it weren't that big. Doc Groggy, C34 Western Vale, Burlington. Unmodified Canon 90D. Bloody hell. 400mm lens, f5.6. Good stuff, mate. Yeah, it's a real challenge, you know, capturing nebula. You can see it's caught loads of the oxygen 3, less so of the hydrogen, but it's still got much of the filamentary structure intact. And that's, you know, due to the hardware that he's using. Unmodified cameras block a lot of that HA signal. Most cichlids would eat tetras, that's fair, yeah. Bigger than do create a bit more waste. The tetras do. Just for reference, the image I just posted is Theta Muscae supernova remnant image. Hopefully you'll see it in the more recently posted images. I will check it out, Jason. Yeah. Pisani, how's it going, mate? Are you underway with M27? I have the 662 MC for planets. Wonder what you recommend for planets. M27 in the scope now, getting data. That's awesome to hear, mate. Yeah. I'm new to DSO work, spent the last couple of years doing visual. Good on you. I love visual, mate. Yeah, I've got to say, I get a lot out of it every single time. My most recent visual experience, I'll just say that as well, was a friend of mine came over. We were gonna do some painting together, actually, as it happens. Sometimes, like, I've got a friend who comes round, and each time he comes round, we'll do a painting together. Mad as that sounds, but it's always a good time. However, he was a bit too tired, so we ended up spending the night talking about space and life. And I noticed that it was getting clearer in the night, so we went outside and set up the Maxitov 180 and had a look at Saturn, which blew his mind a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Being able to see a planet like that, it's always a crazy thing. When you really think about what you're looking at with visual, it's just horizon expanding, I think. It really is. There's something inherent to humans, I think, when you observe scale in its extremes. So if you, let's say you're somewhere and you look out across the open ocean or something like that, it's a bit overwhelming in its own way. Or if you see a mountain range, a proper mountain range for the first time or something, it's a bit of an overwhelming, like a scale feeling. Or even a big blue sky can do the same thing to you, I find. I get the same feeling when observing, let's say, another planet through the eyepiece. Maybe that's just me, but I doubt it. I'm sure more people get that out of it. My planter tanks only get cleaned every 6 months, except sponges. Man, they could be in such good balance by the sounds of it. That's awesome. 20 hours on the squid, still need 20 more, and then 20 more after that. But good to see you, by the way, Steve. Broadband 20 hours and lots of O2, O3 showing up. HA and O3 is next, not ready for display. Rain is back. Hope the family is doing. We're all doing all right, Steve. Thank you very much indeed for that, mate. Visual is king. Astrophotography is nice. Though, because I can set it up and sleep while it does its thing. Yeah, absolutely. I think let's say if you did visual every night, it would perhaps lose some of its kind of slap in the face effect that it has. At least for me, do you know what I mean? Because you become desensitized to it. It's like buying a massive TV or something. You put it on a wall and you think that's enormous, and then after a week you're like, okay, it's just a TV. Maybe you'd have the same sort of thing with, regular exposure to these mind-bending scenes that that you can view visually. Bristlenose catfish. Bristlenose catfish. I think we call them a pleco over here. Plec. I want to say. There's definitely some of these with bristly noses, because I've had one before. Yeah, like this little dude right here. Really interesting looking fish. Enjoying the stream while I got some workers at my house installing new skylights. Oh, be able to see the Milky Way through my roof. That's sick, mate. Yeah, plec. If sky was clear every night, I probably would bore me. But yeah, maybe. Klaus, once again, coming in with the 8 hours on NGC 7331 and the Deerlink group. Ooh. 6200. So it's that same setup, CDK 17 as well. Loads of detail. I feel like this, if you do watch this, Klaus, and you see this one back, I feel like the background is a little bit bright and a little bit saturated. It's allowing some mottle to become apparent through, which is taking away from the real stars of the show, which is the galaxies on display. So, if possible, my feedback to you, as I know you've asked for it before. Again, like I say, it's not uninvited. Would be if you could mask out the galaxies and perhaps peel back very slightly the background. It'd allow them to sparkle all the more. But yeah, thank you very much indeed for sharing. It's a beautiful image nonetheless. Brian Rose, how's it going there, Brian? Watch your channel all the time. Thank you, mate. That's really good to know. Struggling to improve the resolution of my Astro images. Will dithering and drizzling help? 2.9 arc seconds per pixel. Okay, so you what would traditionally call quite an undersampled situation there. So drizzling will help, given that you're getting enough sub-exposures and that you're sufficiently dithering those exposures enough. Like you've mentioned already, you do need to be dithering for drizzling to be effective. It comes at a trade-off, which you're probably already aware of, in that you'll get a reduction in overall signal-to-noise ratio. But the positive aspect of the trade, of course, is the restoration of some spatial information. So you're going to improve that. Sampling can be good for some targets. Best thing to do, I would say, Brian, if you should be dithering anyway. So just try a data set side by side. I would set up an A/B experiment stacked with no drizzle, stacked with 2 times drizzle, for example. Process them in tandem if you can, and see the benefits for yourself on your own rig, and decide from there. So this is what Jason just mentioned right there. I have to go. See you again. Cheers, Luke. No problem at all, Peter. Thank you for sharing your work, by the way, Peter. And I hope you've enjoyed your time in the stream, buddy. It's been cool. Here's my take on the Theta Muscat Supernova Remnant. I nearly said signal to noise ratio. Spree 100, 6200 mm Pro. Damn. The Blue Mountains west of Sydney. Oh, mate. Oh, hang on. We're giving this the fire right away, but I'm going to take a look at this on AstroBin as well, since he has linked it. Oh, Jason, mate. I love it. Yeah, I love it, mate. The glow across the image as well is just it's beautiful. We were talking about that sense of dimension, do you know what I mean, that can get offered, and for me this image speaks to that immediately. This foreground object, being its bright colour with the diffuse edges, really separates itself from that background and gives a feeling of what you're looking at, gives it some depth. I particularly like this almost pink band running through right there, like snaking through the shot. Tremendous. Yeah, I'm assuming you've submitted this for image of the day, because if you haven't, Jason, you really do need to be doing that, mate. To be honest, I think that's a wonderful image. No problem at all, mate. Thank you for sharing it. That's really, really wonderful stuff. Andromeda City. Nice. Thank you for sharing this, Dave. Beautifully detailed crescent shot. If you want some feedback, Dave, I will say you've done a fantastic job on the image overall. The only thing I'd do, the last thing I'd do, is pass SCNR over it, subtractive chrominance noise reduction, and it'll get rid of this green cast. You know what I mean? So there's green permeating into the regions that should be more like teal or blue. And it's also prevalent in the background and around the stars. So SCNR would rid you of all of that and restore some of the colour balance back to perhaps more what we'd expect from the shot. Please don't let what I've just said detract from it, though, because I think you've done a lovely job. It's a very detailed, interesting to look at shot. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Dave. Make sure you match your image sensitivity focal length, then focus on tracking, drizzle at least 1x on all. Yes, I have it sitting as submitted. Okay, mate, yeah, I might get top pick or image of the day. Thanks heaps. No problem, buddy. Yeah, no problem at all. I mean, when I look at that, it says to me, image of the day candidate, 100%. You know what I mean? There'd have to be something pretty chuffing special going on to top it. It's outstanding. Do you know what I mean? Quite literally the definition of outstanding. It stands out. The trunk with what looks like 6 vane, probably 3 supports on the secondary mirror on this thing, giving it that kind of web style diffraction. That's interesting to see. Nice. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, mate. Cool shot. 130 PDS, SV605. Nice. Thank you for sharing it, Robin. SCNR, that's the one, buddy. Yeah, I'm glad you're still here, Dave. Like I say, mate, it's a cracking image, so please don't feel at all off-put by what I just said. Genevieve, my first 2 attempts at the Elephant Trunk Nebula, and I guess it's nose hair. Yeah, This wide field has become one of my favorite images. I love the dark nebula throughout. Wow, that's very stark. Yeah. I like it. If you want some constructive feedback, Genevieve, on this one, I will say, when viewed like this, it looks wonderful. Well, if you zoom in a little bit, though, you can see some evidence of like artifacting, likely from an AI-powered tool being applied in a stretched state. So when the data is no longer linear, and it's caused it to have some hallucinations. Do you know what I mean? It's imagined bits and bats. Now, if you're already aware of that and you don't mind that, absolutely, you do you. As long as you're, you know about it. That's all I'd say. Wonderful stuff, though, overall. I like this this offering, by the way. I particularly like the feeling of separation that you've achieved with a lot of these dark globules over here. They really feel like they're scattered off from it. Really nice stuff. Thank you for sharing those. No problems. Appreciate the feedback. Still learning. Good stuff, Dave. Yeah. Like I say, I feel awkward giving feedback sometimes, because I don't want people to think I'm just picking on an image or something like that. I genuinely just trying to help people if I see something that I feel like I can offer some useful feedback on. I do. Oh, Mike, you absolute legend, mate. Great live stream, Luke, and great community. Thank you so much, Mike. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. The community aspect of Astro is, I feel like it's one of the most positive communities you could become a part of, to be honest. I mean, yes, if you go on some of the forums, it always devolves into a slinging match, but I've never seen it happen on here. Do you know what I mean? It's usually just support and positive interactions and help all around. So I feel like we've nurtured something good, and it must be preserved. Yeah, really, really awesome stuff. I feel like if I weren't doing Astro for my job, you know what I mean, like the YouTube side of things, the community would be the thing that keeps me coming back anyway, even throughout those natural peaks and lulls in your interest as time and seasons pass. The community is that one thing you can keep coming back to. The iris. Oh, that's a dusty bugger. That's really, really nice. Great feedback, and thank you. No problem at all, Genevieve. I'm glad you've taken the feedback in the spirit that is offered. Do you know what I mean? It's my first time using PixInsight. I started astrophotography like a year ago. Well, you're doing absolutely fantastic then. So yeah, just keep on. You know what I mean? You keep doing you. Elena's is another great group. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, younger crowd, which is great too. Yeah, I think I don't know. Like growing up, I had a friend who was quite a lot older than me, and he taught me a lot about, I think, friendship and like-mindedness, communities, that kind of thing. And he always used to tell me, like will always find like. And I think that's a case of what's happened here. Do you know what I mean? We're all quite similar, and that's why we've ended up doing this absolutely mental chuffing hobby anyway. So it puts you all on an even keel. You're naturally going to get along. Yeah, it's like a filter's being applied. Do you know what I mean? In this hobby where we use filters, we're filtering out a lot of the negative shit and just ending up with a good community. I feel like I was just talking over the top of that image, by the way. Astonishing amounts of depth to this. So that's my favourite part of the processing work that's been applied to this. The feeling of structure right there is tremendous. This region can look a little bit I mean, it can look tremendous like this. It can look sometimes a little flat though, depending on framing and positioning and processing. Like, to offer a counter to what I've just said, the Orion Nebula itself there does look kind of flat in this. It's like it's been masked back and lost some of its value. But the dust, he's done such an amazing job bringing out that dust and the structure. It carries the whole thing through. How is M27 percolating? Good question, Ray. It is percolating. That's looking a bit soft, to be honest with you, actually. Autofocus failed. I do wonder where we're currently at with the scope. Let me just take a peek out of the door of my observatory and just check that everything's safe. Thanks for the reminder, by the way. We're starting to actually block part of the aperture of the scope. I'll show you what I'm talking about if you're interested. So, a little bit of the front of my my telescope is now blocked by my observatory roof. I'll turn on the all sky camera and you can see. Hopefully, you can see anyway if it's pointing in that direction. 676. I don't believe I answered Pisani's question, by the way. He mentioned something about planetary, and I could have sworn I got sidetracked by something else. What would you recommend for the planets? So the 662, don't know off the top of my head what the specs of that is. It's obviously one of the newer cameras, being that it's part of the 600 series. Let's just have a little look. I want to answer Pisani's question. So 1920 by 1080, 2.9 micron pixels. Okay, yeah. Massively high quantum efficiency, low read noise, mega full well. Yeah, I don't think you need to worry about your camera at all, to be honest with you, Pisani. If I were you, mate, I would just enjoy it. I think you've got a wonderful camera for the job right there. Just a quick question. Is the live stream still working? Because we've just had a crash. Hopefully still working. Gotcha. Anthony and Bree Galloway. Thank you so much, chaps. And well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate that. I had a full browser crash after opening that new tab for some reason, which meant I lost my YouTube live streaming page as well. Looks like it's all preserved. Thank you very much indeed for letting me know. But yeah, so you can maybe see the edge of my roof, like right there. Granted, the fisheye is making it look a bit distorted, but part now of my aperture is looking into the roof. So we're using sub-aperture for the rest of the imaging. Not ideal. So I'll have to figure out, you can see it's darkening on that side as well. I'll have to figure out what to delete from here. From about there should be safe, I'd say, something around there. I'll sort that out anyway after the fact. But yeah, thank you, Ray, by the way, for reminding me about that, mate. I had actually forgotten. I'll park that telescope now and just leave it for the moment while we finish on the Discord. We've lost some other stuff on it, but at least it's still working. I was just catching up anyway with the chat. Pleco is used here, kind of an overall name for lots of got you. bit of an umbrella term then, without any particular, I want to say subgenus being specified. Just catching up, trying to remember exactly what I was looking at now before I left to check on the scope. Oh, can you fit a 14-inch in there? I'd love to, Casey. I would, mate. But I think a 14-inch Schmidt Cassegrain would be just fractionally big. I reckon the only way I could manage it is if I switched the second pier to a harmonic mount and used a load on it that didn't require a counterweight. That'd probably get the possible swing and collisions down to a manageable radius. But you know what I mean. It's more just it's a want rather than a need. I'd love a 14-inch Schmidt Cassegrain, I really would, but you know, it's a hell of a lot of money. It's not realistic. Stan, NGC281. I like this, Stan. EvoStar 8TD, 8 hours integration, 533 MC Pro, L Enhance. And he's offered a nice write-up on it as well. Several Bonk globules. Nice work, Stan. I like the coloration that you've gone for, mate. I feel like noise is well handled. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, mate. I don't know if you can see this, by the way, on the live stream. I feel like there's some stacking artifacts crept in slightly along the right-hand side. You can see these little dark marks around the edge. Perhaps a slight more aggressive crop would have got rid of those, but overall, I'm nitpicking. You know what I mean? It's a lovely shot. Thank you for sharing. Holy moly, Fat Hugh's been really going crazy lately with these. Let's just finish catching up. Time delay, yeah, super. Need those guys around one image. Ran mine into the trees for 2 hours. Oh yes. S30 Discord Adventures in Astronomy, nice one. 175 minute subs in broadband. So that's some time, dude, put into that one. And what a result. Oh, I love this region. Look at this kind of very subtle HA segment just down there. Fantastic. Yeah. There's no feedback really to be given on that other than just bloody well done, mate. That's lovely. These images are humbling me and me. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Stan. I didn't know if you were still here in chat, buddy. Yeah, I like that you've gone for the non-standard kind of look on this one. You know what I mean? The cherry red and leading into the pool of blue, separate in the middle right there. Very, very appealing. No green here. Post a couple pictures. I'm a little late. Well, I'll just I'll refresh it, Aidan. Given that we're looking at stuff that's a few days old now, I'd rather just quickly check the stuff that were relevant to this live stream, and then we'll wrap things up, I reckon, because I'm actually getting a little bit tired, and to be honest with you, I'm getting a bit hungry again because someone was talking about eating ribs. All jokes aside, I hope you enjoy those ribs, mate. This one's from Brian Rose. Recent image, more likely problems with my development, but this is my undersampled issue. I've got you, yeah. So you're running into a couple of issues here, Brian. If you want the full feedback, I'll give it to you. So I'm seeing some evidence of defocus going on in this region, because particularly of note on this particular target, there's 2 stars right there which are kind of blended into one dash on this. On a well-focused, well-resolved image, they would be 2 separate stars, and that's an indicator that something's a little bit wrong with the focus. We know it's not the tracking, because the stars are round but they're large. Now I can also see some darkening to the centers of some of the stars, and I don't know whether that's a result of deconvolution or some other process that's been applied, but for example, that star's exhibiting it there. There's a few more, of course. That could be evidence of an out of focus, star splitting into diffraction rings rather than a focused point. So thing number 1 to work on would be establishing a perfectly sharp critical focus. You could perhaps do that with a Batinov mask or something like that to make sure it's fully nailed on. The next thing I'm noting is that there is quite a lot of artifacting in the image, as in it looks like it's been passed through some form of AI tool, and it's caused artifacts to appear, which look, they detract from the image rather than add to it, I would say. So that is what I'd work on. Perhaps rather than worrying too much about the sampling ratio for now, more just nail down that fundamental thing right there, the focus, first and foremost, should be the first thing. Thank you for answering my questions. I'll get you a pic of M27. Nice one, mate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And thank you again, by the way, for honouring me like that and offering me the chance to choose your target for the night. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out and wishing you the best of luck with it. You should see the job Pete did with the data. Has it been posted, by the way, Stan? Or I can't see it recently, but yeah, if you've got it, dude. Oh, there's one more I missed as well. I'll just leave a heart on that as well, by the way. Builder, a couple of images. I'm a little late. Oops. I'm assuming this is Aiden, yeah? Andromeda 585 MC Pro UVIR cut and a Rokin on 135. 8 hours. The heart is with the L Extreme and a GT71 2-panel mosaic. That's a good effort. Nice, mate. Yeah, nice capture. Loads of HA come through on that thing as well. Good use of 8 hours, I'd say. If you want any feedback on it, Aiden, do let me know. But yeah, fundamentally, I think you've made some nice captures there, mate. No problem at all, Brian. And like I say, mate, like I've said before in the night as well, I'm offering the feedback because you've asked. I'm only trying to be constructive and to help. Please don't feel like I'm picking on the image or anything like that. I'd just like to help you achieve what you want from your shots, if I at all can. That's a beautiful heart, you know. Seen again, yeah. I mean, in both of Aiden's shots, we're seeing some evidence of a little bit of artifacting going on. Granularity, you know, where it doesn't belong, that kind of thing, on an otherwise smooth image. But that's because I'm pixel peeping. Again, I think it's fair to say that most people aren't going to be doing that around the image, probably. It's going to be more taken in the context that it's offered, to use that phrase again, where it's beautiful. So, yeah, it's very tastefully done indeed at that kind of thing. I think the only thing I'd change, if you want, by the way, Aiden, is there's a little bit of green permeating through the image. SCNR would help you eliminate some of that if you just use like a partial strength pass of it, 40, 50% or whatever. And it also eliminates some of it from the fringing around these bright stars and the background, etc. But yeah, overall, fantastic stuff, and thank you for sharing. I'm new I've been doing it less than a year, looking for feedback. Thank you. No problem at all, Brian. And please do, continue to post your work on the Discord. Now, I know, I just feel like I should mention it, obviously. We're all at different phases in our astrophotography. We all have access to different equipment. Of course, different quality skies. There's so many variables that go into an astro image. Please don't ever feel like it's some kind of competition on here, because obviously some images are just mind-bendingly good, and some have got aspects that could stand some work. And I think it's all part of developing, is recognizing flaws in your images and what you want to work towards. You know what I mean? So, like I say, just to reiterate, please don't feel like there's any competitions in here or anything like that. It's important that people see all data, not just the absolute shiniest of the shiny, the best of the best. Seeing beginners and where they're at is equally important, I think. Andrew, gonna get some sleep now. Awesome community here, cool to hang out. Yeah, mate, we'll be joining the Discord. Super. Very singular endeavor. Any feedback you give, Luke, is a builder. Super. I'm glad to hear that, Steve. Yeah, I feel like maybe in the past I've gone a little a little hard on the feedback sometimes, and I'd hate to think I'd dissuaded someone from continuing to post. Do you know what I mean, or something like that? I'd really hate that. I want people to enjoy it and to be able to show off what they've been doing, and ultimately learn. It's all about. But anyway, I've gone on at length as usual, talking a load of nonsense. So I'll pretty much wrap things up at that, I reckon. Thank you very much indeed. I really do mean that, as always. Hope you know it comes from the heart when I say it. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate the support that you give. Really, I do. And yeah, I can't wait till the next one. I always have a load of fun with you guys. I get weirdly anxious about the streams before I go live. I think it's also fair to say that, and I don't know why. But yeah, every time I go live, it's a good time. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy them too. That's what it's all about. Right then, I'll leave you at that then. I'm gonna pack my scopes and go change my son's nappy. That's the plan. Look after yourselves, guys. It's been a pleasure as always, and I want you to know that you really are appreciated. A cheesy thumbs up to finish.